Here we go. Testing. Good levels is good. And it's going. All right, what's up, chat? Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend is YouTube Streets Puerto77. And I got the live stream up. Waiting on to see if the panel members can join. But the show must go on. Here we go. So we're looking good. We're looking live. So what's going on? How was everybody's holiday so far? Everybody's Christmas or whatever your specific holiday you celebrate. I hope everybody enjoyed time with friends, family. Everybody's in good health. You know, everybody's in a good place in life. Oh, God willing. Let's see how things are going. We'll see as the chat or as the panel members jump in. How's everything sounding with you guys? And we got the chat, and the chat is live. Thank you so much for rocking out. Hey, the last show of the year. Probably not the last content. I'll probably drop videos as we close out 2023. Man, am I the only one that feels like 2023 just blew by? Like it just zoomed right through. Just consistently kept going nonstop. Like this year felt incredibly fast. Like really, really fast for me. Maybe it's just me because as the time is going by, I'm getting closer to my military retirement. It's just so real to me, you know. Yeah, man, like technically speaking, 2024 is practically my last full year of straight up work as a Marine. Because 2025, while I still have really 2025 will be a little bit of work, but I have to do a lot of my retirement stuff like VA, medical, and that takes a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes into retiring after a long military career. And my retirement ceremony is projected to be September, October, which I plan to do, have a live stream on YouTube. And I'll do a separate live stream for my families and friends on my Facebook. I have Facebook separate. Like Facebook, I don't use it for as part of my social media YouTube presence. Really, I kept that just strictly for communication with my families and friends. I never use it as a platform to market my channel, really. But I plan to do that in October if possible, to have at least a phone set up, and then that way I could stream my retirement ceremony live. And I think you guys will probably like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of you know, many of you knows in the Marines. So just to show you, because so you can see a live retirement ceremony, and then things are gonna change from there. Because man, it's gonna be different, right? It'll be post-military career, which means there's a lot of things I don't have to worry about no more, right? Some of the things I would say, my military career is what's, how can I say, I don't want to use the word hold me back, but it's what, what's up? What's going on, Craig? You hear me? Craig, oh shit, wait a minute. I don't think my mic is working on Discord. Hold on. Let me fix that real quick. Testing. Let me see. All right, testing. There we go. You hear me now, Craig?
I
Oh,
got
okay. All right. Cool. All right, cool. Now I was just talking to the chat, doing a little bit of chit chat while you come along, extreme, holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was pretty much telling you, what I was pretty much saying was, this just feels like 2023, um, blew by, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just it just feels like, man, we just started 2023. And I was just saying, for me, it's because now I'm like almost at the tail end of my military career, and like 2024 is really my last full year of being a Marine. Because
Okay.
come 2025, I start my retirement process. And it's just a long
Oh.
process because you have to do a lot of medical appointments, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of paperwork. So I'm projecting my retirement ceremony will be October 2025.
Dang.
Yeah, so exactly. I plan to do it live. I plan to like show a live stream on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
For yeah, so you guys get to see it on YouTube. And then I plan to do a separate one for Facebook Live, but that's mostly for my friends and family. Because Facebook,
Oh,
I just have close relations there. I don't use Facebook as a platform, as a marketing platform. I just strictly use that as a family friend communication tool and networking.
yeah. Yeah.
But
I understand. I understand.
but I'll do it probably on my phone, a live stream, and then just position it to where everybody could see the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
But then at that point, things are going to be different because, um, like because some of the things on my channel, I don't want to say it held back my channel, but the reality is it kind of did. It just like my military career takes precedence, right? Like, for example,
Yeah.
when I moved to Germany, that completely crippled 60 Frames No Light podcast because
Yeah. I
I
remember
couldn't,
that.
yeah, because I couldn't do it the
Yeah.
same hours. Like, I couldn't hold it. Like, the hours I have now, it would be like 2, 3 in the morning in
Correct.
Germany.
Yeah. I remember
And
that.
I couldn't. I tried in the beginning, but then in the end, I just couldn't keep up. I couldn't host a podcast at 2 in the morning and then go to work at 5. I
Yeah.
just couldn't. I
Understood.
just
Yeah.
yeah. So like I wasn't really. So the 60 Frames podcast in its essence completely got crippled for like a solid 2 years because I got to
Mm-hmm.
Germany in March of 2018 and I left in July 2020. For a solid 2 years, the 60
Yeah. I
Frames No Like
remember.
podcast was just crushed. There was not much I can do about it. So I started doing a little bit of videos. I couldn't do much on the weekends because I was in Europe. So me and my wife, we were just enjoying,
Yeah.
So those 2 years was really, it really slowed down the channel. It really just crushed it. And stuff like that. And I'm not mad because I enjoyed my 2 years in Germany. I absolutely love it. I would do it all over again.
Right.
And stuff like that, right? But and even then, like even now, even though I'm back in the States, like you can see, I can't really do the podcast based on Eastern time because
Yeah.
notice you guys, and I feel for you guys, and this is why I say I really appreciate you, Extreme, Jay, anybody who rocked out with the channel over the last 2-3 years, on the podcast or panel. I really appreciate you guys because I know you guys are on East Coast time, and for you guys it's like 8:30 or whatever, right? I would love to do it earlier, like around 6 or 7, but I don't get off work like at 4 or 3. I can't
Oh, I
consistently,
understand.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't get off work consistently at 3 o'clock. I wish I could, but I can't. Imagine a
Right.
Marine be like, "Hey guys, I'm getting off work. Why? Because I got a video game podcast to do." Boy, you're out your mind. They're gonna look at me like, "Boy, if you don't shut your," they're gonna look at me like, "Are you nuts?" You know. If I was in the East Coast, it would have been great because I would have got off work at 5, which is 5 for you guys. I could host a podcast like at 6:30 East Coast time, which is ideal, I think. But now, once I retire, I'm going back to the East Coast. Now I'll be back in the East Coast time, so the podcast will be earlier and stuff like
Okay.
that. Also, because I don't have the commitment to the military, I have more time and more energy to put more stuff into the podcast. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just so that's gonna be interesting. Puerto Rock, me doing a podcast while I'm in the military versus once I'm done with that chapter of my life, and now I'm a full blown civilian, just doing civilian things. You
Yeah.
know,
Understood. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, timing is everything, and
yeah,
like you said, it was you're overseas, you're 5 to 6 hours ahead, give or take. So yeah, you're right. You can't be doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning over there.
And I tried in the beginning.
Yeah, I do.
But it
remember
was
that.
just oh my god, it was just too hard.
Yeah.
God, it was really hard. I tried my best. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember those days.
And yeah. Oh man. So, but it was something, man. But wow, this year's just it's incredible. This year's incredible. How 23 now, 2024 is coming. Mm-hmm. And you know, we get to see what's popping. This year's been really interesting, you know, so hopefully we could talk about whatever whatever crazy moments is here. And we got someone who jumped in. Who's T?
Yo, that's me. What's going on?
Oh my god, you switched your name again? I'm like, who the hell is T?
I know, should say the brain.
What? No, it just says T.
Oh, that's
T.
Oh,
it just said. It just says T ... I'm like, who the hell is T? And it can't be just anybody, because you have to have certain rights to just hop on. So you just switch that. I'm like, oh shit, somebody hacked my shit. I'm like, oh, here we go. What's going on, brother? You know what I'm saying? But hey, to the people watching, I want to say, hey, thank you so much. Last podcast of the year. Looking forward to that. Hopefully today we'll cover a little bit of news. We'll cover a little bit about the PS5 just crushing Xbox once again. You know, and we're just gonna have a serious talk like, what the fuck is going on, right? And then we'll talk about a little bit of the Insomniac leaks. Some more information came out, you know, about Wolverine, Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that. Then we'll give our personal assessment of 2023 for PlayStation. You know, give our opinion on how we felt PlayStation handled 2023, and then we'll go right into a little bit of predictions of 2024. Just gaming predictions in general, whatever you want to predict, right? But anyway, let me introduce. Let's say there's a panel right here. We got the Messiah, the voice of Xbox. You know, my man's going to spend the rest of the year looking for CUs, because he's going to have to still look for the 52 CUs. And then PlayStation's going to come with 60 CUs. You're going to be busy. You're going to be like, where's Waldo?
Yeah, this sounds interesting if it's all true. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we ever saw the 52 compute units that, or maybe we did and we just don't, I don't know. So, but yeah, a good year overall. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody that's here now. Always it's a pleasure to be on the panel. I was saying this earlier, and on my podcast.
Absolutely.
Ready to get it going. I can stay for about another hour, about 9:45. That's when I the old man's gonna take his Geritol and get some sleep. So.
You gotta take your Dimetapp to help you snooze. A bit. All right, thank you so much. Okay, and then we got the brain up in here.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
I'm happy to be back. Unfortunately for me, well, not unfortunately for me, but I'm up here holding my daughter because she got a stomach virus. So I'm just trying to get her to go to sleep.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, that's terrible, man.
I appreciate it. I think she feels way worse than what I do. I just want to make sure I don't catch it, because I know stomach virus is one of the worst things to have.
Yeah, especially like this, for whatever reason, kids are like petri dishes. So when we get what they get, it's like worse for us.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's terrible, man. Well, man, I hope your daughter recovers quickly. Especially, she's probably off for the week, right, from school.
Oh, she's 2, yeah.
Okay. Oh, she's 2. Okay, so she's just she's a little baby. Damn, that shit sucks. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right, man. You know, but overall, how was your gentleman's Christmas? How was Christmas so far for you guys?
You know what? For me, it wasn't even about me. It was about my kids. So I got 2 other kids. My firstborn, he was born on.
Oh man, my man out here seeing the roots. He believe in the Bible. He's like he's out there. He's like, I'm gonna be fruitful and populate the earth. He ain't playing.
So my firstborn, he was born on Christmas Eve, and then my second, he was born on Christmas Day. So it was either poor kids or poor parents, but they enjoyed themselves with their double celebrations, or rather the quadruple celebration, since his birthday and Christmas for both of them at the same time. And that's about it, man. I haven't done anything for myself yet, because I'm one of those people that believe in the after Christmas sales, and I'm still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to getting a a PSVR between the PSVR 2 and the MetaQuest 3. I'm not too sure which one to get yet.
Yeah.
Take a look at the screen, dog. Take a look at the screen.
What oh man, don't show off, man.
No, but I'm gonna be real. You know what? I'm gonna give you a piece of advice because you are interested in one or two devices. There is a flaw to the PSVR 2, and I'm just gonna be real. I'm gonna be honest, right? Because I had the PSVR 1. But there are so many games that just doesn't work on the PSVR 2, and yes, I completely understand why. But I feel PSVR 2 is not the same as the console. To me, PSVR is still niche, so it could use all the help it can get. And I have a huge library of PSVR 1 games, right? When I sort it out to just which are compatible to PSVR 2, they disappear. There is so many games that just doesn't work on the PSVR 2. And yes, I understand new control scheme, but I think Sony really needs to get with the third-party developers and really start pushing the effort to get PSVR games patched for PSVR 2, because there is a lot of content out there that doesn't work on PSVR 2, and I think PSVR 2 is not the same as the console where, I buy PS5 for PS5 games. It's not the same because the industry is going to fully support PS5. So building up the library is just not going to be a problem. But to me, PSVR 2 is niche. And for my opinion, that accessory, bro, you need all hands on deck. So with that, I think MetaQuest 3 might be better for the sake of the bigger library, because everything the MetaQuest 1, 2 establish carries over to the MetaQuest 3, so you might have a bigger library. Now, the one advantage PSVR 2 has over the MetaQuest, unless you have a gaming PC, is the fidelity. The fidelity of the PSVR 2 is unmatched. You would need to connect your MetaQuest 3 to a PC to get that level of fidelity. So if you have a gaming PC, then yes.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the best initial 5-minute pitch I could give you.
Okay, nah. I just want to back up a bit. You said that the PSVR 2 isn't 100% backward compatible with the.
No, there is so there is no backwards compatibility at all. Zero.
Oh.
There is none. It doesn't exist. What it takes what it would take for a PSVR 1 game to work on a PSVR 2, the developer will have to provide an updated patch to make it work with PSVR 2, and not all of them have done it. Not even the exclusives. So, for example, one of my favorite games on PSVR 1 is a game called Blood and Truth. It's fucking amazing. It didn't get a patch. Iron Man VR. I haven't even played it yet. Doesn't have a patch for PSVR 2. You know what I'm saying?
Throw away my PSVR. Yeah, I understand.
Oh no! Do not throw away your PSVR 1, because some games, especially if you have games that you haven't played yet, unless they patch it, it's not going to work on PSVR 2. So there is no backwards compatibility natively. It doesn't work. They have to go back, do an update to work with the new control schemes and method for the PSVR 2. So I understand why it's not backwards compatible, but it just sucks that Sony created something, and I'm just saying from an optics perspective, because maybe in the background it's just a challenge, but they have a lot of work to get these games, because it's just a huge library of games that I guarantee a lot of people didn't play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's I would say that.
Okay.
But the fidelity is amazing. And there is a huge there's a good decent library of PSVR 2 games. But if you have you already have, you're saying you have PSVR 1, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be shocked at how many games just won't work on the PS that don't have those update patches. You're gonna be like, shit.
Oh damn! All right, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah,
definitely take that into consideration, because I got a gaming PC or a gaming laptop. So
okay. So your MetaQuest might be the better option.
Yeah.
Because you'll get the higher fidelity graphics if you run it through your PC.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a better VR system right now, anyway.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not, but because there's just more on PC to enjoy in VR. That's the way I would.
You also have the Half-Life Alyx. Yeah, man, that's on PC. That's not on PlayStation yet, or it's not on PlayStation. You know, whether it comes or not, I don't know. But there's some big titles on PC that are VR. VR has a nice, you know, good thing, and it's also standalone. And again, you could do PC. There's just more options. Mm-hmm. You know, shout out to Patrick Allen. Question of the day with the super chat. He's starting out with his bullshit, Patrick. Patrick, man, don't you believe in holiday spirits? Don't you come bring your bullshit on my channel? Goddamn Ebenezer Scrooge. You know, have no pity? Man, it's Christmas. And he says, Patrick Allen says, how's Bungie working out? Well, it depends how you look at it.
Yeah.
Right? The way I look at it, Bungie came in and slapped some common sense into these PlayStation studios thinking, oh, you think you're going to do this way? You thought it was. And then that's when Naughty Dog's like, wait, what? You know, Bungie came in and be like, listen, if you want this shit to work, you're going to have to give up your soul and your 2 children. And Naughty Dog wasn't willing to give up their soul and 2 kids. They said, no, you can't have my single player babies. And you can't have my soul, you know? That's just how I see it. You know, I think Bungie realistically came in and bitch slapped all the PlayStation first party studios and told them the real sacrifice. And you know what? We're gonna talk about that too, because I guess the source code for Grand Theft Auto 5 leaked, and a lot of information came out of that along with that. So damn, it seems like everybody's getting hacked. Ubisoft almost got hacked. Like, is anybody safe in these streets anymore?
No, those hackers are 3-4 steps ahead of.
And they probably using AI to help them out too, which is probably making it worse.
Yeah, well, Fnatic is safe because they don't exist any longer.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that hack. That's what people say. There was no leaks. It was hacks. I was glad.
Yeah.
James Stevenson with Insomniac came out and said, what happened to them was illegal. It was they're victims of a hack. So and but they're confident enough where they just didn't pay them. It's like, yeah, here's what we're gonna possibly bring out. And y'all can go kick some rocks. So yeah, it's I'm already seeing people talk about the game that has all the pressure on it. You saw this too, Puerto Rock is now Hellblade 2. So
that was one article. That's one article.
But how quick they've already turned from Starfield.
Well, they're gonna, but they're gonna do that every time, which is a mistake. At a certain point, they gotta stop that. One game is not gonna establish your brand. That's not how it works. You know, Uncharted 4 didn't establish the PS4 brand. It didn't just go, okay, PS4 is the greatest ever. No, it was a consistent library and consistent quality that kept happening over and over and over and over and over and over until you, So, but I don't think so far I haven't seen. I mean, there's a few dorks, right? The guys have like 2 followers that talk shit. I don't really count them. Right? Because anybody could do that shit, right? You have 2 followers and your account was created December 2023. I don't really pay attention to those accounts, right? Because they could say whatever the hell they want. But when you got Xbox podcasts start talking and stuff like that, or longtime Xbox influencers, like Tim Dog or Van Out or something, and they start saying something, then you could be like, okay, but they're not saying, Hellblade is going to be the end all be all, right? Xbox podcasts are not going out there saying Hellblade is going to end all be all and stuff like that. And I think that's how it is. Everybody should just take a step back. Ninja 3 is not advertising to be the answer for Xbox. They're just there to bring great games and just let them be and let the game sort it out. And the best everybody can hope for is when the game comes out, it's a solid game with very little hiccups. And that's it. And then the next game will come out. You want a solid, good game with little hiccups, and you want to repeat that same formula. Then in total, people could be like, wow, Microsoft first party released a bunch of games that were good to great with very little issues, with very little dilemmas. And that's how you establish your brand, and you start heading down the right path, But one game will not be the end all be all. That's impossible. One game is not going to outclass a whole library of superstar games. That's just, it's just, don't do it. Don't overhype the game. Just let it be. Just let it cook. Leave it alone. Let Hellblade set its own parameters when it comes out. Don't have these super unrealistic high expectations. Just let it be. When it comes out, The jury will be out. JP Loco with the super chat. He said, hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in just a few days. To you as well, my friend. You know, wishing you a Merry Christmas. I hope you and your family had a great time. And I hope everybody, you know, will have a great time this upcoming New Year. Hope you guys are all safe. Enjoy your time. And I hope things are going well. Right? To the chat, thank you so much for rocking out. I really appreciate it. We already got over 270 plus viewers. Thank you so much. I hope we make this an entertaining show for you guys. Please hit the like button at this point, you know, and X this out, tweet this out, whatever phrase you want to use. And let's keep it going and let's end the show in a big bang and stuff. So we'll talk about, you know, we'll start with the first topic. As you see on the screen, PS5. Oh, Extreme.
Hey,
so hold on. Extreme. You know what? Let me spend 2 minutes on this.
Sure.
This may sound like a stupid question. But you guys do celebrate Christmas down there, right? In some form of variation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it's the summer.
Okay.
That is so fucking weird. Like Christmas and summer. That's like saying Xbox and Game of the Year. It don't mix. It don't mix. Like something don't mix. Like, what's going on here? What is wrong with you guys? Like, listen, you guys must not believe in God. We need to get God in your country and do snow. Like, I'm playing. But that's so. Did you ever celebrate a winter Christmas? I know you lived in Africa. Have you ever lived enjoyed a winter Christmas? Like, it's fucking cold as fuck.
I've been in the US.
Okay, you've been to US?
So yes, that was around Christmas.
Okay, where at? Where in the US? Don't say Florida. Because that don't count.
No, not Florida. When I was there, I did move around the states, so I don't know exactly where I landed at Christmas, but I think it was Virginia.
Okay, that's not bad. So that's pretty cold in winter. Yeah, they snow up there.
Yeah.
Did you see snow? Did you touch it? Did you be like, what is this white substance that is surrounding me? I don't like it.
You didn't know there was snow in Australia, right?
What happened? Do they snow in Australia? I don't know. Because every time I see Australia, I just see like the hottest, sweatiest, with the worst animals that are trying to kill you every second.
Okay, definitely not the hottest. Definitely not the sweatiest place I've been in the world. Definitely the worst animals trying to kill us. So we got 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3. Okay, that's just crazy. He has a nice hot summer on the beach. Merry Christmas. Like, wait, what? Oh, hey, how was your Christmas? How was your Christmas?
Santa comes in bikinis.
Yeah, he's like he comes in and he's like, God damn, this place is hot. He's taking off his Santa suit.
Also, he's a locksmith because we don't have chimneys just like that.
You don't have chimneys. Oh, he's like, he's just gonna have to break down the door. He's like, man.
Yeah, listen, you know. That's why it was so tough.
All right. So how was your Christmas, man? You spent it well? Hope everything's well with the family and all that?
Hey, listen, spent it with the family and that's the best gift you can ever get. So
okay, all right, nice. So good, man. I'm glad everybody, you know, had an overall good time. To the brain, you know, wish you well for your daughter. Hopefully she recovers quickly. And we'll get to the topic right now. So the final tally right now, reportedly, PS5 outsold the Xbox Series consoles by over 300%. That's more than 3-1. I don't even think the PS4 did that to the Xbox One, right? Supposedly, sales are getting worse for Xbox, meaning year over year is getting less, and year over year, clearly PS5 is getting more. Like, let's try to figure this out. What does Microsoft do next year? Like, what can they do to at least cauterize the wound, if they even care, or do they just chop off the arm? We'll start with the brain first. So what do they do to cauterize this wound? Do you think you think Activision, they're gonna go all out with ABK and Game Pass, you know, or do you think, you know what, just do a tourniquet and chop off this arm because this shit ain't working?
Man, all jokes aside, I don't think it's nothing that they can do. As far as with the with the contractual obligations they still have, through legacy with Activision and PlayStation or in Sony and other platforms, they gotta honor them unless Microsoft, say fuck over that and they want to be in breach of contract, which they could do because they can afford it. I mean, according to the Xbox, I mean everything that Xbox does is subsidized by Microsoft, so they that is a possible option. But as far as what could they do to turn these fortunes around? I don't think there's anything they can really do. And I'm gonna just say this because you said it so many times, and everybody on this podcast at some point in time said it so many times, and I agree. The purpose of buying a console is for its exclusives. I mean, Nintendo was Mario. I mean, when the Sega Genesis was out, it was Sonic. PlayStation, throughout the years, Crash Bandicoot, Jackson Dexter and Jax, Uncharted, so forth and so on. I mean, it's exclusives. There is nothing that Xbox has that is exclusive. I mean, even again, all of us have PCs. The Xbox consoles, at least in this generation, is so redundant. Whereas if everything comes out day and date on PC Game Pass or just PC period, why do I even need the Xbox in the first place? It's like, hey, I don't think there's anything they can do. I mean, if they wanted to try to jumpstart and start a new generation next year, which would be kind of reminiscent of what they did back on the Xbox 360 generation, and have a year up or a year up or 2 years up between Sony and Nintendo, they could take that strategy, but that may even backfire in your face. So I don't think there's anything they can really do.
Okay. All right. Craig, what's up with you? What do you think?
I don't disagree with what he said. I don't think there's anything that people can do. I mean, even Phil Spencer was talking about they lost a generation where people can, carry the games with them or something like that. So, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I guess in theory, until Phil Spencer sends his design team home, there'll always be a threat to make another console. But if they're having this many issues selling, there's I mean, people aren't stupid. They can see the writing on the wall. That's why they're moving more into services, which makes sense, makes perfect sense. So, but yeah, I don't really disagree with what Brahim said. If people have truly made up their mind and you can play like one of their games, Starfield, on you need a PC to play it at 60 frames per second. So, and if people go out and they spend that kind of money, and you can sign up for Steam and Epic and Microsoft stores and get a whole lot of games. Epic and Steam, they give games away, and Epic has given away some cool games. But yeah, I really don't see if you're going to spend at this point maybe $1,000 on a real good PC. That gets you like into the 3080s and gets you a real good CPU, stuff like that. What's the Xbox there for? Um, we know that the developers aren't taking we maybe the developers are not taking advantage of the 52 CUs and 12T flops. We don't know, but you have no problem doing the ray tracing with your 3080 or your 4070 or whatever you got. FSR with your 7000 series card. You don't have to worry about it. Whereas here you're stuck at 30 frames per second, minus a few games on PlayStation and Xbox, but I really don't know. If they were asking me as a salesperson, I would just say, look, we can't win against Sony. We can't out Sony, so we need to look at what they're doing, which is services, and it makes sense to me.
Okay. All right. What about you, Extreme? What do you think? Like cauterize the wound or just cut off the whole arm? What's going on?
Listen, I really want Xbox to stay in the fight, so I don't like all of this talk about how they can't do anything. The very first thing they need to do, though, is they need to believe in Xbox again. Because I've talked about this a lot. Like, people at Microsoft do not believe in Xbox, the console. They do believe that Game Pass is somehow going to turn their fortunes around. I think they are wrong about that. But hey, what do I know? So for the box, they need to believe in it again. But unfortunately, I feel like it's too little too late. Like the momentum that they've built going in the wrong direction. Like Game Pass day and date is a huge issue that is going to compress budgets. They've come out here and they have delivered a generation where they began without a single game, where they had a year without a single game. So far it's been 3 years of this generation, and 2 of those years there was nothing on the Xbox, basically. So it's hard to do a kind of turnaround mid-swing, because for me, I'm like, well, you will have to just start breaking promises, and you will have to start making things exclusive. You will have to start to make the box valuable again. So things like Xbox, also a PC day and date wouldn't be a thing. You would, give them at least a 6 months head start on the console so that people are attracted to having the box. Things like that, I think, would allow you to keep the other audiences that you have, like the Game Pass audience and the PC audience, but give an incentive for people to actually value the box in itself. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that Microsoft wants to. And I think they would rather go down with the ship than go back the way they came. So start a new generation. Make it a clean break. I'm not sure if you should start it earlier than PlayStation. I don't think there's any sense in doing that. But if you have to, go for it and create a singular box. And then, just start over.
So starting over, what would the new start over do? Like what would it bring to the table?
Them away from the Series S. I think the Series S is an anchor to whatever they can do in the future. They can just be like, hey, this is, people are calling it Xbox Next or whatever. But I think that they should actually not support backwards compatibility in the games so that they don't have to be tied to the Series S again for another generation.
Yeah, you can forget about that one.
Yep.
You can forget about that. Only reason I say that is because that would hurt Game Pass.
Yeah, yes, it would.
I think
break their promise in every
which they're not. Yeah. Because really, like, let's be honest. The only reason Xbox, let's all be honest, the only reason why Xbox is still in the conversation is because of Game Pass. Imagine if Game Pass didn't exist this gen. There would be nothing to talk about. You think so?
I think things would be better off, yeah. Because I think they would have had to actually, fight with the traditional methods of softwares and good releases. Like, Game Pass is such a huge buffer. It gives them like such a huge crutch that they are trying to fall back on, even as it itself is kind of like there was never a subscription service in gaming cannot carry the flag. I don't believe. Like, it can't be like your it feature. It's too easy to duplicate, and it's too easy to give something that is just good enough to take away most of the shine. Like, a lot of people say, for example, that the day and date part is why they love Game Pass so much. But I'm like, when you look at PlayStation Plus, like, PlayStation Plus is just good enough that Game Pass allure doesn't really have to make the most sense.
Okay, but if you look at last gen, Game Pass didn't come out to like 2017.
Yep.
Microsoft was still having issues trying to be that platform focused on console sales and providing games. Now, it could be attributed to they were already planning for Game Pass, which is why they held off on a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. But I personally think, here's the hard part, right? Because like 360 and OG Xbox, I'll use those two for as an example. I'll use OG Xbox. I love the OG Xbox, right? Mm-hmm. It had a lot of great games. It had arguably the best online for consoles. They had huge multiplayer hits. Halo 2 was a phenom, but it wasn't commercially successful, right? At all. And when you think about it, it was pretty bad because Nintendo on its first go-around was commercially successful. PlayStation on its first go-around was commercially successful. But I looked at it more like Sega, right? Master System wasn't very commercially successful, but Genesis was, right? So 360 came out. Other than Red Ring of Death, it was commercially successful, right? But look what it took to really get there. It took Sony to really punt it into the stands. Really fuck up their gen for the first 3 years. Like, like, for 360 to really shine, PS3, it was just a perfect storm for Xbox. 360 shined because it did good, made great decisions, but a big part of it was PS3 took itself out of the competition for the first 3 years. Because it was a disaster of a product, and gamers was looking for an alternate solution to this thing because it's just too expensive and it doesn't really have the games. And it's just so happened 360 was there to say, hey, you can pick us. Oh, and we'll do something better. A lot of the games you like on PlayStation, we will get those too. Because when you think about it, majority of the exclusives that PlayStation usually has, Xbox 360 got it day and date, right? The only exclusive that within the first 3 years Microsoft was not able to get was Guns of the Patriot, Metal Gear Solid 4, right? So 9 out of 10 ain't bad, right? Because you got Devil May Cry day one, Grand Theft Auto 4 day one, Assassin's Creed, which was supposed to be a PS3 exclusive, that became multi-plat. Final Fantasy 13, all 3 parts became day one. Virtua Fighter became a multi-plat, and it got online multiplayer, while the PS3 version didn't. So there was just so many titles that were normally associated for PlayStation, they ultimately became multi-plat. So Xbox created a great opportunity of providing a lot of games that you only get on PlayStation, cheaper price, and bigger exclusives. That's probably not likely going to happen ever again. That level of disaster that PlayStation went through is probably not going to ever happen again. So Microsoft starts off a new generation. What do they do? Like, how do you sell? Like, if I'm not interested in Xbox this gen, is it really because of Xbox Series S? Like, is it because I'm gonna buy a PlayStation because you guys decided to make an Xbox Series S? I don't think it's that. At least I just can't see it being that, especially when you think about it. Most people bought an Xbox because of the Series S. So if anything, whatever little sales Xbox was able to make, it was because of the Series S. It wasn't really because of the Series X. Yeah.
Like, imagine, Pirok, like, you wanted to buy like a high-end performance car, right? Like you get a Porsche or whatever, okay? And then they tell you that, okay, we made this in partnership with Toyota. And you're thinking, great, right? Like, I'm going to have this premium car with Toyota reliability. Then they tell you, okay, well, we use the engine from a Toyota. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, okay. And then they tell you it's a Toyota Yaris engine. And now you have this Toyota Yaris in this Porsche 911 that you just bought. See, the thing is there, now you have all of the performance of like your high-end car saddled to this like low-end, low-grade, performance, and that's how I feel like the Series S is. It's not just that you yourself don't particularly care that the hardware exists, right? It's that this hardware is now going to forever drag down the potential of the games that come thereafter, because obviously they're not going to be able to implement a feature that is present on the Series X, but then isn't on the S. And I'm not talking about something kind of optional like co-op or whatever. I'm talking about like a fundamental game design idea. A bit like if you fly in Horizon Forbidden West, that thing is slow as fuck. It's slow as molasses because it is tied to the PlayStation 4. Whereas that limited gameplay options, for example, like swimming in a Horizon, flying in Horizons, it felt like these should have been PlayStation 5 exclusive features. Or it felt like at least these should have been features that would have been far more engaging and far more interactive if the PlayStation 4 wasn't the thing that this was tied to. So, flying in, swinging in Spider-Man is faster than flying in Horizon, So I'm just like, that for me is the distinction in that the Series S just holds back what you can offer.
Well, I do agree with that. I do agree that Series S does provide challenges for the brand. That agree. I just don't think that's easily marketable. I just don't think if a new Xbox came out in 2026, the fact that they went back to a one school console, that changes things. I think people want to see more from the console, right? Like something that's easily retractable. Like you gotta look at it from the perspective from the people who don't care about specs, don't even know anything. Like most majority of the gamers don't understand the detriment of the Xbox Series S. Most don't. In fact, the people who bought the console don't really care about power. That's the reason why they bought it. They don't understand what they don't have. Some people bought it still thinking they're getting 1440p, ray tracing, all that stuff, and like, no, you're not. You're not even close to that. But you know what I'm saying? So like, while I agree on everything you said, right, that the Series S presents a detriment to the overall games, I just don't think that's an easily sellable point to make people be like, oh, okay, now I'm interested in Xbox. I just don't see that, especially with the way Xbox Series S. Like, I didn't think the Series console was gonna sell worse than Xbox One. I honestly thought they would have a better gen. I didn't. At no point did I think they would beat PlayStation 5. That was just stupid. Anybody who believed in that was just an idiot, because there is no way you launch a brand with no games and think backwards compatibility and backward compatibility patches is something people really care about. We try to tell people that's not how you sell a console. No one really cares about backwards compatibility like that. Okay, not to that degree. Hell, not even in VR, and I'm complaining about it. But even for VR, people didn't complain about it, right? Definitely not for a console. It's just never a thing. Backwards compatibility was never ever a be all end all to that level. The main thing is at least new games, even if it's cross-gen, new games that takes advantage up to some level of the hardware, right? So with that, like, what does a new Xbox do to actually gain more ground, more sales? Because to gain more ground and more sales, you have to eat into the PlayStation 5 audience, because that's what you have to go for, right? Now, there is another strategy you can go to, which is the strategy Nintendo did. When Nintendo cut their generation short with the Wii U, right? A console-centric device, obviously has a tablet. They said, you know what? We're going to go where PlayStation is not. And PlayStation is not in the mobile audience. Especially after the fall of Vita, PlayStation has zero presence until now. But even then, remote, that's a different conversation. Let's just go with Switch launching. Nintendo says we're going to go after an audience that does not, where PlayStation simply does not exist. And that's the audience that wants the game on the go. If you still want to play at home on a console, cool, right? And if you notice, right, if you notice their commercials, when they first launched the Switch, the people was already outside. They were already having the tablet, you know, outside. So the audience was the outside, and then the audience will come home, you know, the actors will come home and plug it in. So when you think about it, they're telling the audience, hey, you mobile gamers, we got a new device, a new mobile handheld, but you can play at home and dock it. It wasn't the opposite. It wasn't somebody that was at home playing and then you grab it and get on the go. If you look at the commercial, they're going after a specific audience, which is the mobile gamers. There is no PlayStation mobile gamers. They don't exist. Vita died. That's it. So the market is open for Nintendo, and Nintendo took that market, and they always did great in handheld, right? They always had successful handhelds. They just completely decided, you know what? We're going to stay away from the market that Sony has a huge foothold. We're going to completely ignore that market. And we're going to go after the mobile market, but tell those gamers, hey, you can still play at home if you want to. And it absolutely worked. So for me, for Xbox to be anywhere near that, they have to create, or they have to do something that where PlayStation has no presence in. So that's real. That's to me the real key for Xbox, where in their hardware design that they can release an Xbox, but it's in an area PlayStation is simply not in. That they're not really competing for this segment of the hardware market. And that's the key. And the only thing I can think of is the Series S strategy. There is no market where you just sell a $250, $300 console really cheap, and the console is simply designed for Game Pass. That's it. It's really for that. It's not there to give you high-end gaming. It's not there to give you the best graphics or whatever. It's just telling the people, hey, you ain't got to spend $500, $400. We're giving you something, hell, maybe even $250, if depending how much of a loss they're willing to take. Imagine Microsoft says, hey, here's a $250 console, and it has Game Pass. The first 3 months of Game Pass is on us, and there you go. Enjoy. That's the only thing I can think of for Xbox that's actually out of the box, and because there's no solution for PlayStation for that. PlayStation is not going to do that. They're not going to launch a brand new $250 console just so you can play PlayStation Plus. That's definitely not something they're going to do. There's no way in the world they're going to even try to do that. That's not a market. If anything, PlayStation consoles could be higher in price. What do you guys think?
Well, I think you put it out very, very consciously there. I don't know what the next Xbox could offer that moves the needle and moves people from. I mean, you have to be one, not wanting to get a PC. Number two, if they do come out with another Xbox, that's the whole thing. You just don't. I don't know. To me, they're going to have to just go get people who don't want to build a PC or buy a PC, because they could say, well, all our games are now 60 frames a second, whether it's Flight Sim or Starfield, whatever those games are. Now you can get off the 30 FPS line and get to the 60 FPS line and play like that. But yeah, I agree. Nintendo went kind of boldly where no man had gone before into the handheld, and you know, much more mobile. And now Microsoft and Sony are kind of catching up to them, or trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
So,
let me shout out the super chats. We got JP Local again. He says no blasphemous talk about my land down under. Oh, so you got a fellow Aussie extreme. But yeah.
What's
Aussie? Aussie is Aussie? I'm sorry. Remember, I'm part Puerto Rican, okay? All right, forgive me, all right? But yeah, it's hot as fuck over here, and everything will kill you. We got Raji. He says, Puerto Rock, thank you for your service. You are welcome, my friend. Let my African brother M be. Will you weird out when you have hot Christmas in Florida post-retirement? Boy, it's you're right, bro. Florida's going to be hot as fuck, and I'm going to be like, what kind of Christmas is this? Got to still put on suntan lotion on Christmas Day. And Raji says, Christmas is hot in 90% of Africa. Not weird. And Sleepy Lights. He says,
where it's not.
Where's the 10%?
I want to know.
I want to know. Where's it not? Yeah, we got to know where that 10% is at.
Because I've been to Africa recently at Christmas, and I could go to those 10%.
Because the very northern part of Africa is like Egypt, right? Egypt's on the northern. Yeah. It's still hot as fuck. And then you go to the very southern tip. It's still hot down there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Maybe Cape Town. Maybe
Cape Town. I don't know. We gotta find out. Sleepy Lights. 10%. He says we gotta know where that 10%. Or maybe he's just saying it because he doesn't want to be absolute. And you know the internet kids. Wrong. This one little town with 10 people. It snows for 10 minutes every year. So you are wrong. Owned. You don't know what the fuck. Yeah, and then they start questioning on whether you're not from Africa, because if you were from Africa, you would know this obsolete little town. It snows for 10 seconds every year. But because you didn't know that, you're not from Africa. You fraud. Because that's how they do it. You're like, oh shit. I was like, oh man. Sleepy Lights. He says, very late Christmas to you, and happy soon to be New Year. And Vedja. He says, PS has invested tons of money into software and game engine development, and coming off PS3 gave a huge boost, while Xbox has been lazy and wasn't prepared. I don't think it was Xbox being lazy or wasn't prepared. I say this again. Kinect destroyed the Xbox. Don Matrick hedged his bets all in on this weird overall entertainment platform vice a gaming platform, and he went all in on the Kinect, movie, TV, sports, and all this weird shit. And the moment it failed, they didn't have a backup plan, or at least a plan to really, move over. And Phil was left with this thing like, what the fuck did we do? What the fuck we do now? Like, everything was supposed to be Kinect. Like, everything was literally Kinect focused, and now we got nothing. And then you got this new CEO. He says, hey, Phil, I need you to come see me. And Phil sees this guy, and Satya's like, why the fuck are we even involved in gaming? And he's like, fuck. Like what do you say? Your shit is failing right from the start. Even I think in a documentary, they even said that Xbox One was already in a pickle and the console didn't even launch yet. And we're like, God damn. And now the CEO is like, convince me to keep Xbox, and Phil's just like, But
Phil did that. Phil came in and ripped the Kinect out, and I believe they sold it. He dropped $100 off the price, and they sold very well. I remember it was like in October or November when he did that, and they ended up.
They won the MPD. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
I remember they won that, and so I was like, that's when I was talking more about market based stuff earlier, but the market did not want to bear $4.99 for an Xbox with TV. The $3.99 was where the market was, because PlayStation sold theirs at $3.99. So they set the market price. I think that was a major problem with the Xbox One, because I still remember them showing a bunch of games for it. They brought out the Forza car, the orange car. They showed Metal Gear on it, running on that console, that platform. They showed Rise, Son of Rome, the game that created humanity, according to some people. But they were showing games on that platform, and it just, but if you go back and watch that show, and you watch it where they announced it when Phil Spencer said it's $4.99, you could hear a rat piss on cotton. People couldn't believe they were selling it for $4.99, and Sony was selling it $3.99, or it was going to come out later and undercut them. But I don't know what they're going to do. I don't see why they would spend millions R&D in another console. But then again, like I said before, until Phil sends his team home, there's always a threat to do that. I don't want to see them go, but if they get out of the hardware business, it just makes the most sense to me to get out of the hardware, because like you pointed out, it's not moving. That's why you get out of it. It's like, yeah, why would we waste the money? But they have billions to spend, and they're gonna keep trying to spend and get more AAA games at the Game Pass, because that's what I'm seeing. The shift is that the studios they do have, they're going to go ahead and start wanting to bear fruit on those studios. So we're gonna have to wait and see what kind of quality we get. That's what this is all going to come down to, in my opinion, is the quality of the games that they're going to put out, not the quantity, but the quality. The problem is quantity is what Microsoft has always been about. They've never been about quality. That's Apple. That's why Steve Jobs said the rest in peace, why he said what he said about Microsoft. So, but this is one of those things we're going to see. We're going to see what their market bears, what their fan base wants, and go from there.
Okay. All right. So here's one more point I want to make about this. And this time on the PlayStation side. So one of the reasons why I originally thought, before the leaks, I didn't think Sony was gonna do a mid-gen refresh was because of what we're seeing here. When you have such a console that is absolutely dominating, where is the demand for another better version of it coming from? When so many are hopping on to this model to a degree, right? So I always thought we're probably not gonna see mid-gen refreshes because this console is gonna sell a lot. And I'm thinking the focus is just going to be trying to constantly make this console smaller, similar to what the PS2 did, right? You had the PS2 Slim, then you had the PS2 Mini, which fit in the palm of your hand, right? So I honestly thought that would be what Sony's going for, right? Because if everybody doesn't have issue with your console and that shit's selling in ridiculous amounts, what would be the need for another upper model, right? But apparently they're still doing it. How does Sony balance this out? Like how is this going to work? You got a console that is selling like hot bread, and now you introduce the PS5 Pro. How do you sell a PS5 Pro when the base model is more than acceptable and makes everybody happy, and everybody's jumping on that? And then most likely you're gonna drop the price, right? To show that discernible difference between the Pro and how does this work? I'll start with the brain. What do you think about that? Is he here? Is he gone?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I had myself on mute. You know what? Honestly, I don't know. Just because of the fact that the one thing that the one thing that comes to my mind as to the reason why there was a PS4 Pro and even an Xbox One X in the first place was because of when the original PlayStation 4 and the original Xbox One first came out, they were underpowered. Even going back to 2013, because they were using components going back to 2012 or the early 2010s. So to me that was number one, and then secondly, there was a push for new technology. I mean, at the time that PS4 Pro was coming out, 4K TVs was really becoming a thing, and also the PSVR came out as well too. So to me, it's like having the first reason that I stated alone was more than enough reason to have an updated system, just because of normally when consoles come out, very normally ahead of the curve, or rather, they ahead of PC. But both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One were so far behind PCs. Even when they came out, it's like, hey, what's to me? I think that was out of the norm than what industry was used to. But as far as the need for a PlayStation 5 Pro, I mean, you said it. I remember last year when you asked this question, and I actually answered it, or rather, I asked the question, I answered it, saying, "Hey, do I think a PlayStation 5 Pro is going to come out?" To your point, it's like, no. Why would it? I mean, even with this graph right here, it's up 3-1. I mean, unless Sony wants to cannibalize their sales, which it seems as though that's what we're going towards. I really don't. I don't know. I'm really surprised. I mean, the PlayStation 5 is capable. I'm not going to say it's the most capable because of I know there are some games that still has issues with doing ray tracing, and also there has to be a balance between performance and graphics, which at least we have that option now. But going back to your original question as to what's the need for a PlayStation 5 Pro this gen, or any mid-gen refresh, to me, none.
Mm-hmm. Craig, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, this is I'm gonna give credit here to another YouTuber that works at Sony, Alana Pierce, who mentioned this months ago that the technology is already out there and the developers are only constricted by what they put into their kits. So there's as long as the technology advances enough and they can find shortcuts to do things, Sony always does a custom type of console, even the PS4 Pro. And I still remember the podcast where people were saying that Sony was going to split their fandom into two, with the Pro and then with the other PS4, and that didn't happen. And so I don't see it happening this time. You'll be able to get the base model Slim for probably $399. If and when they do announce a Pro console, and then that thing will just fly off the shelf. You're talking about bundles and things like that being with it. But yeah, if there is a Pro, you need to understand as what they are going to gun for, which sounds like, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, better ray tracing and higher frame rates and better graphics. So if that's what you want, then get a Pro, because that's what it sounds like they're going for. Other things they may wait to the PS6, but that's why you do it, is because the technology is there. The dev, you want to build, you want to give your devs the best technology they can have, even if they don't fabricate it. They could have a dev kit that's 22 T flops, and Sony's first party come back and say, well, we don't need all this. We can do this with, I was told it's close to 16 with overhead. So maybe we get something like that. But overall, that's why you make another console, is to push the boundary even further. Now, it may not seem like a big deal, but if they're working on their own solutions, to team up with AMD, and AMD or Sony actually, because remember, Sony just finished they just finished their chip plant over in Japan. They just finished that. So now it's time to possibly see when they can start, putting foot to ass. And are they going to fabricate over there? Are they going to have other people come in and fabricate? So it's interesting as I speculate about, but that's why you would do something like that. So I agree with what Alana Pierce was saying in that video. Just overall, that's why you do it, is to advance you advance your technologies, and you see what comes out, what kind of solutions you can come up with. And I agree with Brame in the sense that you may not get anything out of it. They could say, well, we're just going to wait to PS6. So let's wait and see, because all this is speculation. Sony has not come out and authenticated anything. Even through these hacks, you would have thought Insomniac could have possibly had something on this. And so far, knock wood, nothing has come out yet about there being another PlayStation in the barn. So we'll wait and see.
Okay. All right. Extreme thoughts?
Hey, listen, you asked how would they sell it. The issue is that, sorry, they will have no issue selling it because the iPhone 15 Pro exists. and then there's a Pro Max. And these things are not meant to be like bought by everybody, but they are meant to exist for the people that want it. So the enthusiasts, the people that want the PlayStation 5 Pro, they were always going to buy it. They don't really need, I mean, they need a valid reason, right? But they don't really need anything other than it exists and I want it. Like Sony won't need to market it to them as anything particularly different because they will have its built-in advantages. They will be like, listen, you will get your 4K 120 frames per second. You will get your 8K 60 potential. You will get this, you will get that, and then they will have its own, advantages. Just like with the iPhone, like if you go to the Pro Max, you get like the extra lens at the back, or you get the extra stabilization, or you get the extra zoom. And to most people, it doesn't make a difference. To most people don't think that those upgrades are tangible enough to pony up an extra $500 on top for the phone, right? But enough people do. Enough people buy them. So I think it's just a matter of setting expectations. The market will buy it. It's just you shouldn't expect it to be like 40% of the market or something ridiculous like that.
Okay.
Yes, the PlayStation 5 will always be, like 90 to 95% of your sales. And you know what? For the extra 5%, you can charge them. Like this is why I tell people that, this thing that we're like, oh, they won't go over $600. Why? The people that want it will get it. They might not get it the first year, but they will get it. They might get it while trading the games or doing this or doing that or borrowing money from a friend. But the point is, you put the highest end version out there, the enthusiasts that want it will buy it. And like I said, for me, it's just an iPhone 15 Pro Max situation. The iPhone 15 base is better than, it's like 3 times better than like the iPhone 8, or like the best version of the iPhone 8 was, and people's iPhone needs haven't upgraded that much in the last, 7 years or so. And yet, what do people do? They show up for the highest end, as well as showing up for the base model. So that's it. It's just a matter of being realistic with what the split will be between the two SKUs.
Yeah, right. I agree 100%. It's just going to be a matter of what the market will bear. The high end people, they're just going to run out and get it. Okay, that's just what they're going to do.
It's like the 4090s, isn't it? Like nobody needs a 4090. What is it? Nvidia says that if you're gaming, like if you primarily care about gaming, you don't need a 4090. Like they literally state that themselves, that like this isn't really for gamers. It's for people that are doing like virtual machines and all these things. That those are the ones that will truly be able to use the max potential. And yet gamers, they go out and they buy it, even though it's ridiculously overpriced for what they will need it for. And most of them will not make money from it, And so, but it exists and they want it. And so they go and pay for whatever NVIDIA is asking for.
Yeah. It's a market-based buy. And it'll be the same for the Pro or another Xbox, so to speak. If people are going out and buying, I mean, I was at Best Buy the other day. People were in there buying, $2,000 TVs, and talking about they can't wait to play their Xbox or PlayStation or hook it up to their PC. So it's just what I said this before. People are getting upset about the game prices going up, and it's like if you want them to take advantage of all the hardware and software out there, that will be longer dev cycles. That will be more money in R&D. You're going to pay for that. It's not this whole thing of wanting the best, but then I don't have to pay for it. That's, like I said, that's a generational thing when everybody got a trophy, so that they wouldn't have to deal with a crying baby. But it's whatever they can put forward on it. I mean, if you want the better ray tracing at 60 frames per second, better graphics, better resolution, if you're that guy or that gal, you will pay for this. If you don't give a damn, like Extreme said, you are going to be in the vast majority who, even if you go get a new console, it'll be the slim version I just think it'll be a cheaper price to keep moving it at that percentage. Yeah, I'd say, 10%. Because how many people bought the Pro? Wasn't it less than 20%?
One out of five, so 20%.
Yeah, so 20%. Yeah, so let's just say you get it at 20%. They get the same number. Okay, 80% are still buying the other console. So, and then you may get into an issue of, well, look at what happened with the Xbox Series S, like his stream was referring to, how it, has a potato, things like that. So what technology does Sony have to do like an upgrade where you can just, or an upscale, is this one of the solutions that they're working on so that they don't run into this issue? Because devs are complaining about forget about the console war, devs that make the games are bitching about the Xbox One S. Devs, forget about the Sony ponies and all that kind of stuff. Forget about everything they say. When the devs are throwing a fit, you got a problem. So, and then, so I agree. It's just going to be whatever the enthusiasts want it, the collectors are going to want it. Now we just have to see if Sony makes it based on the way they do things. They make a smaller console, and last gen they did a mid-gen refresh, and it's just the assumption they're going to do that now. They may not. They didn't do a PS2 Pro. They went right to PS3. So we'll have to wait and see. It's not, we're going into 2024 in like 100 hours or whatever it is. So we'll find out in a few more weeks what they're doing.
Hey, I got a question for you because you brought up something that made me think of this. Do you think that developers would be complaining about, the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series S if it was the lead platform?
Well, it is. That's the problem. Is that it is their lead platform. That's their most selling platform because Microsoft wants. You're talking about as far as they want.
I'm talking about as far as, I'm sorry, and excuse me. I'm talking about as far as the way how the PlayStation 4 led the 8th generation. If the Xbox Series S was the top selling platform, whereas let's just say it was sitting at the numbers that Sony is sitting at right now currently. Do you think that developers would still be complaining about it? And the reason why I'm saying it this way is because of the fact that if this is my lead platform and this is what's the word I'm looking for, and this is the common denominator, I wouldn't really have, I really wouldn't, have a problem with trying to make games for the Xbox Series X because of, at that point, I'm just, raising the ceiling for, for games going on the Xbox Series X. And I'm just making a comparison between that and the original PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro because of, last generation, the PlayStation 4 was the lead platform. And I didn't hear too many people complain, or rather, I didn't hear developers complain about the PlayStation 4 Pro, but at the same time, they didn't really, outside of first-person parties, none of the third-party developers, they didn't really take advantage of the power of the PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm just saying that, hey, you know what? If the Xbox Series S was the lead platform for this generation, whereas anything else would, as long as that baseline is met of being the Xbox Series S, then anything else would just be, icing on the cake. I'm just saying that to say that, I do agree with you as far as the way that I'm not a game developer or a software engineer or anything like that at all. But the fact that I still don't understand why there is a difference in not even so much in the GPU, but in the RAM utilization between the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X. Whereas, hey, if a lot of if I was a game developer and I am limited to the way to the features I want to put into a game or how graphical a game can look based on the amount of available RAM that's available, then yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so if your question is, would it flip on its tail? That the truth is, I don't know. What we do know, well, I don't know I mean, it's okay to think that it could because I don't know. All we know for sure is that there are developers throwing a fit over the way that system is set up. I personally think they should have just went 1440p, 60 HDR. Don't worry about nothing else but that 1080p, maybe 14. But they didn't do that, and it's causing an issue because Microsoft wants everything spec to that first because that's their biggest selling platform. It makes sense. But would it flip would it flip? That's a good question. We talked a little bit about how the people just thought they were going to be able to upscale and move information in very easily, and apparently that may or may not be true. I do not know, honestly. It's a good question though, but I don't have an answer for you. You would have to ask a dev that actually has worked on both of those.
The only thing I could guess is I think the main problem is that they released the Series S and the X. So I would think, like, what is your message, Xbox? Like, what do you want? Right? Like, make a decision. Like, because the Series X and the S is really not that close as they advertise. There is going to be a difference. There's going to be a concession, right? And then you have the PlayStation 5 to where they just kept it to one architecture. So in totality, the Series X and the PS5, that's like the same family. You know, we get that. So like if I would imagine a third-party developer would be like, all right, Series X, PlayStation 5, we understand this whole dynamic. Series S is nowhere near these two. So like, what do we do? Like, we categorize, like, because if you put priority to the Series X, then you're also giving the PS5 a little bit of priority because they're similar. But now the Series S is left out. If you focus on the Series S and saying, okay, this is going to be the baseline, and then the Series X and the PS5 are just just better experience, you're pretty much killing two audiences with just a dumbed down or a better version of Series X. So it's like, it's a weird situation, I think, for dev. It's like, fuck, what do we do? Now, because PlayStation 5 is the market leader, that decision is easy for them. PS5 and Series X is the main platform. We're going to do what we can for the Series S, and if that means we're going to miss features or whatever, Microsoft, you're going to have to let us know, or we're just going to delay your Xbox project altogether, which is like what Baldur's Gate did, and I think that's what's happening, right? But it would be interesting if Series S would have been the runaway successor, selling more than the Series X, selling more than the PS5. That would be a conundrum. Like, I think, and I don't really have the answer, but you're right. It would be a pickle. Because if everybody's buying a Series S for whatever reason, let's say for whatever reason, this generation of gaming, everybody was more concerned about the $300 and nothing else, and everybody was just buying a Series S, and very few people bought a PS5 and a Series X, they'd be like, well, shit. We're going to have to focus on the Series S, which means you pretty much held back gaming altogether. It would be interesting. It would be very interesting how that dynamic would have played out. Raji says, thank you for Super J. He says, haha, definitely doing non-absolute direction. And we got Psycho Gamer. What's going on, my brother? Psycho Gamer with the super chat. He said, I preach this Switch handheld gospel to Craig and J-Dub years ago, but they didn't want to listen. The Switch went handheld to avoid console competition. You hear that, Craig? Psycho Gamer says, I told your punk ass this was going to happen. I'm just kidding. You know, I'll be honest. There was a lot of gamers telling me this plan was going to be very successful, and I'll be honest, at the time I didn't see it. I thought Nintendo was doing something stupid, but I was completely wrong. This shit was a breakout success from a handheld perspective, and they did it in partly because they're good at handhelds, and they completely avoided the console competition. Like, you just, like, the Switch is not, you know, the consideration between the Switch and the PlayStation is just so different in almost every sense of the word, you know, from its architecture to what its capabilities to the third-party support to obviously the first-party titles. It's just completely different. It's completely both unique in every way. There's very few similarities between the two, and I think if you try to talk about similarities, it would be like the super big games like, you know, Fortnite and Minecraft. But for the most part, them two, between the two, they're so unique in almost every way, in function, in fit, form, and function. It's like they're not in the same league against each other, right? It's just completely, you want different things. But that's just my view. Let's move on to the next topic, shall we, gentlemen? Insomniac leaks. So we talked about so much, right? Wolverine leak. Insomniac released a message. Let me see if I could put it up here. I'll put their message up real quick. They released an official message. It says, "Thank you for the outpouring of compassion and unwavering support. It's deeply appreciated. We're both saddened and angered about the recent criminal cyber attack on our studio and the emotional toll it's taken on our dev. We have focused inwardly for the last several days to support each other. We are aware that the stolen data includes personal information belonging to our employees, former employees, and independent contractors. It also includes early development details about Marvel's Wolverine for PlayStation 5. We continue working quickly to determine what data was impacted. This experience has been extremely distressing for us. We want everyone to enjoy the games we develop as intended and as our players deserve. However, like Logan, Insomniac is resilient. Marvel's Wolverine continues as planned. The game is in early production and will no doubt greatly evolve throughout development, as do all our plans. While we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm, we will share official information about Marvel's Wolverine when the time is right. On behalf of everyone at Insomniac, thank you for your ongoing support during this challenging time in Insomniac Games. Now, when the leak build of Insomniac of Wolverine launched, it's on PC, and I said this plenty of times, these generations of gamers will complain on shit that wasn't even supposed to be revealed. Like a leak, they did it with GTA 6, and like you already saw people already complaining about the graphics of Wolverine. I guess there's a part you do crafting. Everybody was just completely knocking the game down, saying, oh, this game is toast, it's done. And this is just like, and this was just the sentiment I was trying to say. This gen, publishers are more careful and hold their projects more closer to the chest, because gamers will try to find a way to complain about anything and make a determination about games, even when they know it's not. This is not what you're supposed to see. This is not what the company wants you to see. This is still part of the early development cycle. They're testing out a few things. This is nowhere near the level of polish and graphical fidelity and smooth frame rates you're gonna see. Like, they're nowhere near that. This was pretty much a hack, and you got to see something you weren't supposed to see that they're still working on, yet they criticized it to hell. Extreme, what do you think about that? Because I know you hate early announcements when they're not ready. I know you hate that. So I'm pretty sure this proves you, like, this compounded your point.
I mean, listen, we all know how we feel about the hack, right? We all know, people have their opinions and everything. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about these fake ass hypocrite gamers that are like, oh yeah, Insomnia, we feel so bad for you. And yet they are the first to spread around the leak, the misinformation, the disinformation, and just take something that was already bad and then just make sure that it can damage as much as possible and reach as wide a population as possible. Those are people that annoy me, because I'm like, don't be coming out here and be like, oh yeah, we feel so sorry for you, Insomnia. Oh, I can't believe your employees had their personal information leaked out, but I'm gonna share this Wolverine link anyway. Like, like, even if you don't share like the actual personal information, just the fact that you are sharing the leaked footage, I'm like, you're backstabbing, like double two-faced liar. Like, just stop. Either something is bad or something is good. And if you're like, well, I can find the good in it, then you believe it's good. Like, then you believe that it was worth happening. Like, the price that those people paid was worth it for you to see, 15 minutes of unreleased footage before, right? Or maybe you believe that the timeline for the games, you believe that was good, having the roadmap until 2025 and everything like that. So just don't, okay? Just take your stand and be like, yep, I might feel sorry for the personal individuals, but I'm not gonna go out there and what do they call it, like virtue signaling? That's the thing. Just stop virtue signaling. Just say, just own that you're kind of an asshole, and their safety, their personal safety, isn't as valuable to you as the leaked information that you got out of it. Like, let's just be honest, okay? Now, in terms of this whole thing, gamers are not a mature group of people. They truly aren't. Now, there are mature people within gaming, of course. Thank God there are. But as a whole, we are basically like less maturity than kindergarten students. Because even in kindergarten, you will tell kids like, "Hey, this cookie dough is not ready yet. You can't eat it," and they will not start criticizing your dough making skills and what kind of roller did you use anyway, and those gloves that you cheap. You know what I mean? Like, children are that critical. They'll be like, okay, we'll wait. They'll just wait until they get the final cookie and then they'll decide whether or not they like it. But no, gamers can't even do that. We need to now have opinions, debates, spaces. People are having, and like a comment here and there. That's fine. That's just part of the discourse. But people are having entire conversations and debates about something that is like, dude, this wouldn't even be classified as pre-alpha. Like, Some guy just started working on this thing, just started rigging it up, and then suddenly you want to start, backseat driving. It's disgusting. I hate it. And these companies need to be more quiet going forward because you gamers deserve nothing.
Okay. Hey, Extreme said, stop talking shit. Oh, well, all right. That was different. Okay. All right. Was it Craig still here? Because I know you have to dip soon. Yeah. All right. How about you? We'll hit you up.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about this earlier. This is very. We can go back to State of Play when they showed Spider-Man 2. They showed an alpha gameplay, it was like a between an alpha and beta gameplay. The first thing, and they were major YouTubers, guys like Marlin Gaming Nation. The very next day, it looks like trash. It doesn't look very good. And
I remember.
You want to shake somebody like that and say, dude, it's an alpha. It's not at that point yet. So when you just look at it, how everything is just self-sustaining, who is the most upset that this game is not going to be on their platform? The PC community. Who hacked Insomniac? PC community. Okay, who's filing the complaint on Wolverine? Even though it's in an alpha mode, it's the PC community, because again they want to downplay it because they want to play the game too. They want to play that game too, and they may not get their hands on that game if it comes out in 2025. They may not see that game till 2027. I mean, that's so if they're 20 years old and you're this on a PC, you may not see that game till you're 24, 25, maybe. So if it hits all the points, because I guess Insomniac did say the hack was real, the numbers were real. So you just have a self-sustained motion of entitlement. It is Sony doesn't talk enough to us. Therefore, and these podcasters are paying their bills with their podcasters and their donations. So they can't talk to you about anything because Sony doesn't give them anything. Then all this stuff happens and they just run with it. Then the same thing did happen with Grand Theft Auto. That leak got hacked and the leak was out. So they said, well, we're just going to show you the trailer now. But yeah, I'm glad Sony is putting cases on people. Those channels took that shit down real quick because they do not want to be dealing with the FBI, who will become knocking on your door. Then they're going to throw you in there with Chocolate Thunder, and it's going to be lights out.
Oh,
you know what he's going to say to
you? He was waiting for that, boy. He couldn't wait to bring up Chocolate Thunder. It's been a while. It's been a while since we were golly. Oh man, Chocolate Thunder was. I thought we put that dude to bed. No, he back.
No, he ain't never.
And he's doing double life. Oh shit.
He's doing double life. Yeah. So
damn.
Yeah, you just have a sense of people that are entitled, and it's generational. And I agree, they do need to do a better job of keeping the information closer, keeping their cards closer to the vest. I agree with Extreme. However, that hack had, like you said, private information, things like that, and the way they're looking at it is, well, they should have just paid us. We were giving the information back, but no, they didn't call the feds and trying to shut. They're gonna, they just got to get one person. Man, that's what you don't understand. They got to get one of them, and then they're gonna squeal because they don't want to be in that cell.
If it was gonna squeal, oh shit, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, boy. If you play Wolverine on PC, you're about to meet Chocolate Thunder. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was worth it.
Yeah, I hope it was worth it. It is an alpha, and then people are like, well, it looks like this. And I agree with you. It's nowhere near where it needs to be.
Absolutely.
They're still working on it. And why is this such a big deal that something that's not scheduled to come out for a minimum 2 years is already like this? Like I said, you go back to what Spider-Man looked like when they did the alpha, and people bitched and moaned. Even though they were saying, we need to see Spider-Man, you see it and you're bitching. So yeah. Them, I don't show you shit.
That's actually a great point. They show Spider-Man, they give an idea, and they complain.
Yeah, because I liked it because I'm like, well, I just like the fact that it turned into a giant black blob and it was attacking people. Okay, fine. I'm excited for the game. But it clearly said pre-alpha footage on it when they were showing the game, and it doesn't look good, like trash. And again, because these people want donations, they run with that. Oh, I'm gonna go outside and stick my finger up, and there's all this rage against it. I'm just gonna join that, and then you all will give me money. And again, the people give them money. So you can't be mad at that. Can't knock a man's hustle, but don't ask for information. Get the information, then be mad at what you see, especially in an alpha. That is like that's like literally going to a car plant, looking at the car while at the powertrain point. It's like the doors aren't even on the damn car. The trunk's not on the car. Why are you even here looking at bitching saying the car is ugly? I mean, yeah, there's nothing in there yet. And it's generational, P-Rock, and to the chat. You got a generation that's grown up. They all got trophies. It didn't matter how shitty a football player they were. They got to play. Now they have a sense of entitlement. Well, that's where I think the rubber needs to start hitting the road, and reality needs to start smacking you guys in the face. I agree with Extreme. You all don't deserve shit until they say it's ready to come out. That's why I'm glad they did with the Rise of Ronin game. They gave you a release date. It's coming out on this day. They did it with Helldivers. They did it with the Final Fantasy game. It's coming out on this day. Here's one of our final builds. That's perfect. That is perfectly fine. And people like the Stellar Blade game. Yes, Stellar Blade is coming out. They've updated you on how that contract is working. Sony is going to publish it exclusively. Well, where's the gameplay? Well, they're not ready to show it to you because you're just going to bitch and moan anyway. No matter what you see, you're going to complain. So, and they know it now, so they shouldn't show you shit. I mean, I wouldn't show you anything. You're lucky I ain't in charge of that. I'd be coming to your house and punching you in the face, and I'll hit your mama for birthing you. So, you all just need to be quiet. And take it. I mean, I understand wanting information, but it's to a point now where you think you're entitled to it. And the only thing you're entitled to is an ass whooping. That's what my great aunt used to tell me. You don't deserve nothing but a butt kick.
Wow, great. You're more extreme than me.
Wow.
You're supposed to be the chill guy.
This guy said, get your ass full. All right, the brain. How about you?
You know what? I probably agree with M on this one as far as saying that people don't deserve shit, but I'm gonna split it into two. The first part is, is the low hanging fruit, which is there's nothing good about having personal information hacked. And to me, Insomniac, wherever its employees really, I do have compassion there because, I know having, I've been a victim of that, and that is not something, fun or something to even deal with. But then I also believe that, hey, was it a hacker or was it potentially, either a disgruntled employee or even a contractor, that actually leaked that type of information.
That happens a lot now. These contractors are shady.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like I know Insomniac doesn't have shit security. They probably don't got the best security like PayPal or Amazon, but I know their security isn't shit as far as the IT system. It's just too much of a liability. But with all of that being said, going back to that statement that they had and that you read verbatim, to me that's PR bullshit. Just because it looked like Republic Relations got in front of that because of just to show something in good faith. But now going to as far as what they're showing, and I'm gonna make the comparison between this because of we saw something similar back in 2018 with Spider-Man with the whole Puddlegate thing, whereas people were complaining about people were complaining about that as far as
Puddlegate.
By the time
good point about Puddlegate.
People were complaining about that, and then it took Digital Foundry to come to come back and say it may not have as many puddles, but the graphics are way better than what was shown in, during the 2018 preview. And as M said, and as you said, and as Craig said, if something isn't meant to be released in the first place, if it's pre-alpha, then what the hell? For all I care, it can be sugar on shit or shit smeared on the wall. If it wasn't meant for me to be, to see, and it's not, and if it wasn't meant for us to see, then why are we complaining about this? So and then not only that, Insomniac has a really good track record as far as the final product always looks better or more polished than what they originally showed a month or I'm sorry, not a month, like 6 months or a year before or whatever. So it's to me it's small change, but yeah, I agree with him, man. Like and Craig, people are entitled in the fact that people can't can't not even have compassion, but can't put 2 cents together or put, one and one together and say, hey, we wasn't supposed to look at this anyway. How are we judging the pre-alpha build? Where it's just retarded. Well, excuse me, I can't use that word. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and to add to that, there were a couple people, Erica Cuts for the win and Kofi, swearing up and down that was the proper build, even though it wasn't. And that's going to be on their gravestones. Says Spider-Man was downgraded. So, and one of them blocked me. Matter of fact, Erica blocked me because she said she went to a Black Friday sale and it wasn't a lot of stuff there. And I said, oh, so what are you saying? The Black Friday sale is now downgraded like Spider-Man? So, yeah, I got blocked for that. But she had that coming. She had that coming saying that bullshit. So, yeah, like I said, that is going to be on their gravestones. And you're right bringing that up because I remember people talking about his outfit was shiny. I'm like, well, the only thing he had at the time that was shiny was the Iron Spider outfit. So I said, that's already wrong. The cloth should look worn and look like cloth, like they did it in the real game. And then Digital Foundry came out and busted everybody's cheek saying, this is correct. This is what this game should look like. This is the proper placement where things should be. And James Stevens, I still remember, came out with that trolling everybody saying, see, we told you so. And then he had that crazy looking emoji like that. And then everybody had to back down and say, oh, well, I take an L. Like, it's a lifetime L. Your children are going to be born with an L because of what you all were saying. Why? Because I'm going to remind them how dumb their mommy and daddy was. I will stick around. I will drive up to your kid's school. I will get into the school. Relax, and I'm going to say, your father is an idiot. Your mother is an idiot. And that's what needs to start happening. That's just, this sense of entitlement is ridiculous. And but I'm glad he brought that up.
Maybe we don't drive up on kids, yeah? Maybe we just leave that alone.
I'm driving up to the school. It's gonna be a conversation.
Stay away from the school, Craig. Stay away from the schools. Maybe colleges. Stick with campuses.
It's not stick with how dumb their parents are.
Stick with the campuses.
I'll get into college.
Stick with the campuses. Stick with the campuses.
I'll rent a balloon. Yeah, I'll rent a balloon and say your mom and dad were idiots.
Put it up in the sky. Hire one of those skywriting airplanes.
There it is. I'll do that. Yeah, we'll pull up in an airplane. But
also, Kofi and Erica, please do not die before Craig does, because he will write it on your grave. Okay.
Oh my God! Why you gotta mention? Listen, Merry Christmas. We wish you nothing but health and tranquility here. Okay.
That's what I wish them too.
This is health and
happy life.
Health and tranquility.
Right, but I will come up there and
make sure it's longer than his.
Yeah. Oh my God! All right,
give me a shot of an EpiPen. I'm right down on.
Oh shit! All right, here we go. Jesus Christ! Yeah, this shit went dark. So among the leak on the screen, you'll see, I guess it was like a 60+ page PowerPoint presentation that was also captured and leaked. From this, I just want to focus on this portion of the presentation, which is Services 3.0, the future of PS Plus. Right here, it says Services 3.0 aims to expand this vision for PS Plus. PS Plus today, according to slide, is Essential Extra Premium. Vision become an essential membership service, and they want to transition it to a Service 3.0 and have it become the most exciting, desirable entertainment membership service globally. And as you can see, it has like a computer, laptop, phone, and console controller. Going down to the next slide, it says broaden distribution. Plus can create new customer relationships by expanding to mobile, PC, smart TV, and browser. So now it shows a picture of Fire TV, Bravia, Android TV, iOS and Android tablets, iOS and Android phones, and Windows and Mac OS. And it asks, how might we broaden distribution? Plus on mobile, can we create a service value proposition on mobile using third-party and first-party content that customers value and utilize locally relevant commercial models? Plus on PC, could Plus expand our addressable market and be a major driver of live service engagement for PlayStation Studios PC games? And then the final note, game streaming on mobile, smart TV, and browsers. Would expanding game streaming to mobile, smart TVs, and browsers help us create and retain more subscribers. So let me start out with, because I think Craig, you're probably almost up on an hour. We'll start with you. What do you think? How do you think Sony will handle this expansion of PlayStation Plus on more devices while trying to maintain the relevance of the console side of their strategy, if they can?
That looks like, if you go back to the PS3 when Andrew House was on stage, I think it was Andrew House, they had something similar up there. Mm-hmm. They were already on these mobile devices. They were on, because Sony was making cell phones at the time. I think they still do. They were on, they do. And I mean, so they were on tablets and things like that. With, I can't remember if it was PS3 or PS4. So that just looks like what they're doing. I do like the fact that if you do the premium, it does add the Sony Motion Pictures Core or something like that. So that is something to add value to that service. But how they're going to do it is if you go back up there, it says Plus on mobile, so we know that's not going to be as good as native, what your console can put out. Plus on PC, that's what we've been saying they were going to do. They're going to probably get a PC launcher or help or put more stuff into the Epic Game Store. That is the new one. It said, could Plus expand our addressable market? Doesn't say they're going to do it. It just, to me, it means they're doing a market-based study. And the same with the streaming. We know that they're doing streaming and premium right now. We know that they're going to, with Ubi Plus, when they get Game Pass, they're going to be streaming stuff on PlayStation. They've already said they're going to do it, and Microsoft has said they can put the games wherever they want. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I just think it says would or can we and stuff like that. So it just means that they're looking into different ways for different distribution. How's it going to affect the console? That's what's interesting, because they already did this on Bravia TVs a few years ago. I remember they took it off. But so we'll have to wait and see. But it's an interesting concept on what they would want to do. But it says could we, would we, can we? That's, which means they may not, because you brought up a good point, Porter Rock, when they put a game into Plus, was it Horizon Forbidden West, and they lost, Tree Fitty on it. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how they do it. But I still think that the fact that you can go at home and you're not in the rain or out in the hot sun, like M was talking about the weather in Australia. You're not out there sweltering and you in your nice, cool house drinking a Long Island iced tea or an iced tea. You're playing whatever, Bloodborne or whatever, your Sekiro, where they give you a shoes and a sword, say go out and do stuff. But just sitting at the comfort of your own home is, I still think, where people will be. But we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. All right. Extreme, what do you think? Any ideas to decide?
I think the thing about Sony's plans is that we can always see them coming, and they just do it like years late. Like, let's face it, the merger of PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus made sense from day one. Like, it just never made sense that PlayStation Now was its own separate thing, right? Yeah. Like, as soon as it came out, people were like, you should merge these two. Now the most obvious thing is that they need to merge PlayStation Plus and Crunchyroll, So for me, it's like Sony has this, I think it's a big corporation. So you can think of something, and I'm sure they've thought about it before you, but the actual logistics of making it happen takes years down the line. So I think the very first thing is that they need to merge, PlayStation Plus and Crunchyroll. Not that Crunchyroll will go away, but that as part of my PlayStation Plus premium membership, or maybe even a higher tier or whatever, I can just roll PlayStation Plus into that, so that I get, PlayStation Plus now on the mobile experience can offer me anime and shows and entertainment. They already came up with that Sony Bravia Core thing, which again is just kind of like, there needs to be a tighter integration with that. So maybe it goes fully like subscription service on that side, so that you don't have to pay for titles individually. Or maybe they do, I think Prime Video and Disney, they kind of have like a dual model where you have a library that's available as part of the general subscription. And then if a movie just recently came off the cinema, you can pay an extra $30 to have access to that early or whatever. So, but the point is that the version of it that is just available to subscribers, that would just be rolled into your premium membership. At one point, Sony actually did offer like a music service. I think they had like 2 or 3 different music services that they were trying to push to compete with Spotify. I'm not saying that they should do that again, but if they did that again, they should add it to the PlayStation Premium membership. So PlayStation Plus should be like the catch-all membership service for everything that Sony has to offer under the umbrella, as far as things that work well in a subscription model. So for me, that's the very first thing that they need to do. The second thing is that they will need to create experiences and kind of like differentiated content for different types of gamers. You know, like if we're still going to say that PlayStation is the most important part in PlayStation Plus, then that's talking about games. And people, yes, people will use remote play. Yes, people will connect their phones with a backbone controller to play God of War and everything. But for the most part, most mobile gamers are not interested in playing console-like games. It doesn't matter where you put it; they're just not interested in it. Just like a lot of people are not interested in reading books. Like it doesn't matter how available the book is; they're just like, I'm not doing that. So those people then need mobile first experiences. And you know, we all know that they are buying different studios and they're partnering with different studios to have like a real mobile division, because they've been trying and failing to do so for at least the past decade. So it's the same thing that I would say. And then finally, of course, we know we see Android TV there, Fire TV, and Bravia. And I think that is a huge part. You know, what Samsung what Samsung and Xbox did, where you have Game Pass available through the TV, is incredibly clever. As far as cloud streaming goes, because what you're doing there is that you're removing a barrier to entry, and you're saying that your only barrier to entry now is the purchase of a controller, and you be able to sync it up with the, you know, with the primary television. From then on, we just give you a cloud streaming experience, and I think that is definitely something that Sony should make Android TV wide, and definitely make on their own TV sets. You know, make sure that it is supported there, especially. So yeah, like all of this is nothing new in terms of what Sony has tried to do before. They've had a version of this running for at least the last 10 years. They've tried mobile, they've tried the Android TV stuff. You know, they've already have PlayStation Now on PC anyway. So none of it is brand new. It's just, can this go around? The integration, can it be so tight? Can it be so seamless? Can it be so flexible to the customer that people do not feel any friction moving between the different kind of devices and platforms in the ecosystem? And that's one thing that Xbox has done really well, right? With Game Pass, they have tried their best to make it as seamless as possible. If you pay for a game on Xbox and you sign into your Microsoft account, you can get the same version available on PC. There's cross progression and cross saves between the two platforms. They have done their best to try to make it as seamless as possible, and that speaks to their strength as a software company. So Sony now, if they're going to do this, broaden the distribution, they are going to have to think about having seamless software. And unfortunately, that is something that Sony generally just takes a long time to really achieve.
Okay. Interesting. All right. How about you, Brain? What are your thoughts on this?
On
the execution, yeah, and all that stuff.
Yeah, with the exception of the Bravia TV, I don't like this at all. It gives me Game Pass feels. And then secondly,
he's like, no, yeah. Like Darth Vader. He's like,
yeah, it's like, hey, to me, it seems as though, hey, if there's a subscription, I see Fire TV and Android TV. You know, what does that mean for for the actual hardware? Will Sony be going down a similar path as Microsoft did? And if it does, then to me, I don't see anything, good coming from that. And then secondly, was this a document that is this one of the leaked documents?
Yeah, this is one of the leaked documents.
Okay, so I'm gonna be consistent. Besides this giving off Game Pass vibes to me, and this being a leaked document, I'm gonna withhold judgment because it wasn't really meant for me to see.
Okay. So similar to like the game, like Wolverine, this could be something they talked about, but we don't know what's their final decision.
Correct.
All right, fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, I think you're just holding back the tears, but I respect that. I respect that. My man's like, it ain't over. You know what I'm saying? All right, okay. No, but you know what? That's a fair point, right? Why worry about something that one, we weren't supposed to see? We don't even know if this thing was actually briefed to the shareholders, right? This could be something we don't know, right? But for my thing, the main thing because I looked over the whole document, right? And for me, the key indicator was whether or not Sony was considering day and date on their subscription service. And this slide deck does not talk about that. So with the lack of information of going day and date on the subscription, meaning putting first party games day and date on subscription service, could this be nothing more than what we're getting with PlayStation Plus right now, just expanded to more device, right? And if they do that, then those other devices are not getting the full PlayStation experience. Because let's say, for example, if they executed this play right now, and right now you could get PlayStation Plus on your phone, on your tablet, on your TV, on your PC right now, you don't have access to games like Final Fantasy 16. You don't have access to Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, the Valhalla DLC. You know, because none of these games in contact, like Helldivers, The Last of Us Remaster, on and on and on. None of these games are on PlayStation Plus as either a monthly free game or part of the extra and premium tier. So I'm thinking, so what is Sony really trying to do? And just in my opinion, I think what they're trying to do is obviously make more money, expand the base, but not give them everything. Just give them enough. Hey, if this is what you like, pay your whatever premium price that, PlayStation Plus Extra Premium offers. I would think it would have to be premium, because premium is the only thing that has xCloud. I mean, not xCloud, has cloud server, which is streaming. Yeah, right, cloud streaming. But it doesn't have the day and date games. Like you don't get to have PlayStation Premium and you get Spider-Man 2 day one, Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Rise of Ronin, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, all these games, they're not coming on there, right? And also part of the leak is showed, and I made a video, Sony felt that they lost money or, projected to lose money on Horizon Forbidden West, simply putting it on the service a year later. So even a brand new big AAA game, you just wait a year and put it on PlayStation Plus, it still results in some level of loss, right? So how would this, so to me, once again, I think Sony's handling this better, or would handle this, because we don't know what the future are. But if they do execute this, they still keep their console relevant. Because just like how they're putting games on PC, sure, they're putting games on PC, but you still can't say, I don't need a PlayStation 5 console, I could just get a PC. Well, no, that's not true, because you're waiting years for the games, and you don't know which games you're actually going to get. So if you go for the PC route for PlayStation games, it's kind of playing Russian roulette. When do you get it? And what are you getting? As compared to getting a PS5, where you know you're going to get all their work and all their efforts day and date on that console. PlayStation Plus being extended to these other platforms is similar. Sure, you could say, well, I don't need to get a PlayStation, and it'll probably be like the 70% solution. You get all the older titles, you get, a lot of legacy titles, a lot of the older titles from the PlayStation 4 and whatever, and with streaming, you could play some PS3 games. But when they release Wolverine, and you really want to play Wolverine, and you have a PC, or you opted to go this route, well, you're not going to play Wolverine. You don't get that opportunity, because it's not going to be day and date on PC, and it's not day and date on your subscription service. So now, let's say you're this audience, and let's say this gains grounds, right? Because let's say for whatever reason, there are people who never really bought a PlayStation console, but because this is so accessible, they opt to do it this way. But now they're enjoying the PlayStation experience on their phone, on their tablet, on the TV, but they learned you're not getting the full PlayStation experience. There's so many games that are not available to you. How many of them will jump and be like, you know what? I don't want this partial experience. I want all to play all these games that are on the platform, but it's just not available to me because this PlayStation Plus don't provide the full experience. You know, so I think that's maybe an angle Sony's trying to do. Give everybody a taste, give everybody a great experience. But if you want the whole shebang, you got to get the platform. You got to get the hardware. If not, you get what you get on this. Now, if it's a partial experience, would consumers be interested in that? Would consumers be interested in subscribing to a service on your TV, on your tablet, but you realize, well, this is not the full PlayStation experience, so why would I pay monthly or pay a fee for something that I'm not going to get? You're not going to give me day-and-day games or any stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying?
So when it comes to that, Pirog, I think when you take a look at, for example, I want to say first the market is educated on this. If you take a look at, for example, the iPhone, right? Part of the Apple's ecosystem, like yes, there's iOS, but then there's also macOS, and there's almost seamless integration between the two. And for them, the iPhone is a Trojan horse. As soon as a person gets an iPhone, they're much more likely to buy more products into the Apple ecosystem because they are getting a partial experience if they have, let's say, a Windows-based laptop and desktop, right? Because now, they'll see their friends with the laptop, a message pops up on their phone, it is seamlessly integrated into the Mac, or they can iMessage directly from their MacBook if they happen to be using it. They don't have to worry about pulling out the phone to answer this text or that text. The Apple Watch is the same. As soon as they get an iPhone, suddenly they want to wear an Apple Watch because of that seamless integration. Suddenly they want to use the AirPod Max because, again, that's seamless integration. So the iPhone is really a Trojan horse. And I think the best thing about these slides is that there's lots of question marks. This is an exploratory kind of concept for them. And they're asking, will PlayStation Plus behave as that Trojan horse? As in, as soon as people get in it, they start to see the benefit, and then they think to themselves, wait, why don't I just commit all the way? Why don't I just commit all the way back up the chain to getting, the console experience, right? Like, why don't I just get the full thing? I don't know if ultimately that will be successful. I mean, there's kind of like, if you take a look at Xbox, who has been promoting this a lot more, Game Pass hasn't really functioned in that way. Like, you haven't really heard a lot of people converting from like their PC to the Xbox. But we all know why. That's because the PC get it and they are not really withheld things as much as Apple and Sony would, right? So I don't know if it would work the same way for Sony. But I think that the market will understand what they are trying to do. People will not be confused as to, wait, so you're telling me that if I only play PlayStation on my PC, I can only have access to, let's say, 40% of the experience versus the whole thing? Like, that's not a distinction that will confuse customers. So yeah, there are some customers that are going to be like, yep, 100%, I only want the iPhone, and I don't care about, having your Apple Watch or your Apple ecosystem, anything beyond just the phone itself. Other people will be like, nah, I'm leaving a lot of performance and seamlessness and convenience on the table, and I want access to the whole shebang. So, they get a tablet, they get the Apple Watch, they get the Apple headphones, they get the MacBooks, they get the iMacs and everything for the thing, so that all of the devices can talk to one another. Another company that does this well is Sonos. If you know anything about sound, then Sonos loves to do multi-room audio setups. So as soon as you buy one Sonos device, suddenly it makes a lot of sense for all of your speakers to come from the same brand, So will PlayStation Plus work in this way? I don't know, because there's very few companies that do it with software. Usually software or an app isn't that Trojan horse. Like iTunes kind of was that, but it was more like it was the hardware that made you get iTunes. So usually it's easier to see this work with hardware rather than software if you're taking a look at historical settings in different industries.
Okay. All right. Good to go. Okay. Shout out to Sphere. I just want games. Fuck the other shit. Games. Absolutely. I echo that sentiment, man. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the games. All right. So let's go on to the next chapter. To the topic. It's PlayStation 2023 review. I'll start with the brain. Just give us your opinion. How do you feel Sony handled 2023? It could be from any perspective you want, just your viewpoints, whether you want to talk about it from a games perspective, media, whatever. Just a quick review of how PlayStation Sony handled 2023.
Before the hacks happened, I would have gave them an A. But
before the what happened? Before the what?
Hacks. The
hacks.
hacks.
Oh, before the hacks. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason being is because of Sony has a history of this. Unfortunately, with the big hack that happened back in 2011, 2012, that didn't go well for Sony. And for it to happen again, to me, it's like Sony, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. There's clearly something going on at Sony now. Whether it's disgruntled employees or contractors is a whole nother question. But the point is, this isn't Sony's first foray, so I'm a less forgiving on them on that end. Now, purely on the gaming aspect, hey, I'm a person that believes in I don't need to have a bunch of exclusives coming out within the same year. I like when things are stagnated, throughout the year or even, with the upcoming years.
I mean staggered, guys.
Yeah, staggered. Thank you. Thank you, staggered. The fact that they came out with, of course, with matter of fact, the fact that they even came out with Spider-Man 2 alone, to me, that could have carried them. Matter of fact, it did carry them, in my opinion. But then they also had Final Fantasy 16 as well. And I can't think of any other exclusives that came out in 2023. But between those two games, I'm satisfied. Again, the whole purpose of buying a video game console, in my opinion, is for its exclusives. And did Sony, did they deliver on that front? Did they meet the expectation? Yes, they did. So as far as I'm concerned, on that front, from that point, hey, they did well. But overall, it leaves something to be desired, especially with with their securing all of our information that they have on us.
Okay, all right.
But I mean, this hack wasn't public facing though. It's not like you lost data from customers.
Nah, I know what you're saying, but the fact that it's just the headline. It's the fact that they got publicity, for something similar again. And if you didn't say that to me, or rather, man, I'll put it this way: do you think that people care? Because when I heard it, from YouTube. Matter of fact, it was mainly the YouTuber personalities. I thought it was the 2011 hack all over again. I was like, well, damn, it happened twice. But the fact that I still, even though it may not have had anything to do with public facing information, it's still not good on their end. That just shows that from an IT perspective or an IT security perspective, Sony is lacking in that department.
I mean, I think you can say that they need to improve it. Obviously, you can always improve, but I think that they are so different and so vast that just saying that, oh, this is a hack and that was a hack is just so one-dimensional, But anyways, we're not here to discuss about hacks. So,
right. No, I know. I mean, I'm always open to to other opinions and because
I don't know. I think for me, I just don't equate the two in whichever way, because the thing is, if there was like a single customer information leaked, like if, for example, they said here are the top 100 accounts that have spent the most time in our games, then I'll be like, yeah, that's problematic. You shouldn't be having unencrypted customer information. You should have learned from those lessons. But this one is also something they need to learn from. And one thing is that this was a ransomware group, so this isn't just a disgruntled employee, unless that disgruntled employee happened to be part of that ransomware group. But that would then mean that they were like really deep inside the company, which probably would have meant that they didn't need to hack into it. But they haven't said anything, because Sony is never going to see, these companies are never going to tell you how the hack actually happened, so that they do not just kind of give away vulnerabilities to other people that might be interested in doing the same. So yeah, I just don't know if you have enough information. But for me, the distinction is that this isn't public facing information. This isn't credit cards of customers that are being swiped.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Brain?
No.
Cap it off. All right. How about you, Extreme?
So
your PlayStation 23 review.
PlayStation 2023, I think, has been a pretty great year for it. I think it's been an 8 out of 10. And the reason I'm going to deduct at least 1 point is because of that showcase. Now, you know me, I don't demand a showcase, but you bring a showcase to me and I still don't understand what those games are or how I'm going to play them. Like, what was Fair Games? What was Concord? What was that other one that they had? There was at least 3 games, especially the live service games, which is such a big question mark at the moment for Sony. Like, I don't mind you giving, live service games a try. I even expect you to fail with the majority of them because we all know that gas games suck, except for the ones that don't. And the ones that don't are few and far between. In fact, out of the 12, I would have expected 10 live service games to be a complete disaster. Well, maybe not a complete disaster, but a variety of a disaster. Some of them would have been good but niche. Others would have just been complete abject failures. Others would have been mid, with like, yeah, okay, cool. We tried it for like a month or two and then we moved on, like Halo Infinite. But only about 10% of them did I expect to actually have any like modicum of success. So I don't mind you going for that, and I'm not afraid of you failing. What I am pissed off about is that you call this a showcase. I didn't ask for it. You put it in front of my face, and then I still don't understand what this game was. Even Helldivers 2, that had a much better showing at the showcase, it still didn't have like the full concrete experience. It gave you a glimpse into what the game was going to be, but I think that the gameplay that they released later, the gameplay trailer that they released later, should have been the one that was shown at the showcase itself. A showcase has to show something. When I finish a showcase, I shouldn't have fundamental questions about what your game is at its core. I saw Fair Games, I've still got no idea. Nowadays, I'm thinking that Fair Games is like some cross between Payday 3 and maybe the finals, like those kind of two, like in that kind of vein as those two. But I shouldn't be confused, like this shouldn't be an ever wild situation. Concord, I have no idea. Concord, I know there's a sandwich in it and there's space. From the trailer, I don't know if it's a first-person shooter, a third-person shooter. I assume it's a shooter of some kind because I think they showed the gun, but that's pretty much it. So definitely 1 point taken away from that. And I think the second point taken away is that 2023 has been a weird year for Sony. They have had tremendous success in the fact that they were finally able to keep PlayStation 5 in stock, right? Then they come up with the PlayStation 5 Slim, and that thing is ugly as fuck. So, that kind of takes away from my shine of it. Then they have also a lot of merging words. I think right now both PlayStation and Microsoft are at a crossroad where basically people have said before that the PlayStation 5 is only successful because of the PlayStation 4. I don't think that is 100% true, but I do think that there's a core of truth in it, in that there is definitely like a lot of headwind or a lot of tailwind, that was able to push forward the momentum, especially through COVID and through all of these things. Like the hype was built up because people had the confidence and trust from the PlayStation 4 generation. I think that's over now. I think in 2024, the PlayStation 5 will have to stand on its own for better or worse, right? So I do think that 2023 is kind of like it's the final last bits of inertia and momentum that the PlayStation 4 generation was able to get. And I definitely think that this year they did use that to basically mask a lot of the deficiencies, right? Spider-Man 2 was an amazing game, but it was also like the only big AAA game on the console itself. Yes, PlayStation VR 2 had its own library, which is great, but that was basically it for, the PlayStation core audience coming from first party. So I think it's an 8 out of 10. I think that I would have liked to see one more big AAA game, or at least, something like a Returnal, an experience that is really amazing, but, maybe a little bit more niche than a big, Uncharted game or whatever. So definitely 8 out of 10 for me for this year. But I do believe that next year, I don't know whether it will be a 9 or a 7 or a 6, because it just depends on how things kind of coalesce together.
Okay. All right, good point. Okay. For me, I give PlayStation this year a 7.5. If it was a 10 scale, right? I don't really like letters because letters is not. I give PlayStation a 7.5 this gen, right? What I like about it is primarily, I personally enjoy Forspoken. I think we talked about that, M. I personally enjoy Forspoken. I personally really enjoyed Final Fantasy 16 and Spider-Man, right? But the one thing that I didn't really like about this gen was, well, they did end up strong. I'll be honest. They did end up strong with Valhalla and Final Fantasy 16 DLC. So that no, I'll keep it at 7.5. The one thing I didn't. Yeah, they did stick the landing, right? The landing is real good, right? Stuff like that. What I didn't like about PlayStation 2023, and this is something is really something within themselves, but is the messaging, right? It seems like they try to experiment with a lot of stuff, right? And I get it. They always have to find ways to try to earn revenue, experiment in things that make money, gas and stuff like that. But it just feels like they didn't know how to balance it out without interfering with the stuff that was already proven in terms of success, right? So, for example, Naughty Dog, right? Naughty Dog, at the end of the year, finally made the decision to say, hey, we got to tell you guys something. Yeah, this faction thing is not going to work out. It's too much of a high cost, meaning we would have to now dedicate the studio into just focusing on this game, which then will take away the capability from us to be able to provide first-party experiences, both in sequels or new IPs, whatever, right? And I felt, if the project was that demanding, it kind of slowed down other projects, right? And I can only imagine if this was also a situation across the studios we don't know about, right? I think the only reason why Naughty Dog had to make an announcement is because we knew about factions, right? For all we know, Sucker Punch could be doing the same thing, but they never, but since they and this is probably why you like not hearing announcements, because they probably were working on something and they too were like, you know what, we're shutting this down too. But they didn't have to release a public, and this is just an assumption. I'm just guessing here. Yep. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying something that's factual, but I'm just saying if there was a situation where Sucker Punch was also supposed to be making a live service game and they internally said, you know what, we came to the same conclusion, this is not supportable, we shut it down, they didn't have to tell anybody that, because we don't know if that was something they were doing in the first place. Naughty Dog had to go out and admit it and tell the public because we all knew about factions. And just like you said, showing a game too early and you're not even guaranteeing it's going to come out is a bad proposition. You might as well just wait until you're getting out. And I think that's what happened to Naughty Dog, right? But then again, to be fair, they had to say something early because people were expecting a multiplayer component to Last of Us 2 simply because of what the first one did. So I could forgive them.
Canceled it.
Yeah.
I just said we're not doing it, and then the show could work in the background. It's like what Halo games did, right? Then you never knew about Light No Fire, and then they're like, hey, for the past 5 years, we've been working on this other game, and here it is closer to you. And then if that had happened, and then they were like, you know what, this is actually too much. They would have just canceled.
We would have never known.
Exactly. No one.
You're right. If they would have said from the beginning, we're not doing a Last of Us 2 multiplayer. That's not in our plans. That's not happening. It's just a single player. Sure, they would have gotten huge flack, but people would have moved on. And and every year, gamers would not have asked, "What about Factions 2? What about Factions 2?" It would have been nothing. So potentially. So I think that was it. So I think this weird transition of Sony trying to figure out, and that's the thing, it shouldn't be trying to figure out. I wish Sony would have handled it a little bit slower. Like, hey, we got our studios. These studios put us on the map. This is what really took the brand to higher levels. We're going to leave you guys alone. Unless you guys individually had something to bring to the table, we're going to let you be. What we're going to do is we're going to acquire talent to meet this new vision, but that's going to be with a new group, like Deviation Games, Haven. Just get new people to tread forth on this new vision and allow your old group, the old guard, to just keep doing what they're doing so they could provide amazing first party experiences. Let the first party guys do their first party thing, first single player thing, and then just cultivate a new group with Bungie, let's say, at the helm. Like Bungie, no, you're not worried about Naughty Dog, you're not worried about Sucker Punch, you're not worried about Insomniac. They got their own thing going. That's our single player guys, If they ever want to dip over into the multiplayer live service game, sure. But we're going to let them cook because they've been producing fantastic titles. We want you to focus and help the new studios that we're cultivating, acquiring, and hiring. That's going to be our multiplayer first-party arm. We'll let those guys handle the live service game. We'll beef them up and stuff like that, right? So, and then also, I just want to gig them for Lost Other Side because, golly, like that game, I think I first got wind of it in 2017. And here we are. I'm like, shit, it's taking forever for that game to come out. So 7.5 for me.
Another game.
Fuck. Yeah, like, yo, way too early, right? Oh my God, you're not. That's becoming the new Last Guardian. Shit. Yep. Fuck, man. It's just so stressful. Yeah, you're right. I wish they never announced it. Like, keep it a secret. Because it's stressful, man. I'm stressed the fuck out. Like, yo.
And then the thing is, you can't help but have high expectations. It's like, if you make me wait for something, I want it to be better. Like, for example, if you go to a restaurant and you know what? Everything's on us, You are like the lucky 1,000th customer. You get everything for free. No problem. Then you go in, you sit down, and then they bring you a meal. After like 5 minutes, you're like, great. And then it takes 45 minutes for the next part to come out. Now you're going to be thinking, hey, this better be good, right? Because if you bring me something good that was, it was like an 8 out of 10 after 5 minutes, for the next course, you're taking 45, I'm going to expect that to be a 10 out of 10. Like, I can't help, but raise my expectations. So now if Lost Other Side comes out, and then you think to yourself, ooh, this game design is dated in 2024 now. Like this would have been good 7 years ago. Now it's dated. You'll be like, what a disappointment. I would have rather not have known.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the final phase of the podcast, which is 2024 predictions. And I leave the floor open to anything. Consoles, PC, services, what major things you think is going to happen in 2024. We'll start with the brain. Pick whatever area you want.
Well, we'll certainly, hear something. Hopefully, we'll hear something officially from Sony, concerning the PlayStation 5 Pro, whether or not if it's actually, if it's real, if it is real, what the actual specs are going to be, or that's just rumor, and and that could be put to bed. I certainly see that. And just looking forward. I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I never played the original Final Fantasy VII. I didn't start playing Final Fantasy VII to the remake back in 2020, and I really like that. So
I'm gonna tell you. It's not the same story.
No. Yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, it's not the same story. In fact, the story of the first one is intertwined with this story. It's weird, but it's intertwined with the first story. That's the best way. It's like some type of weird multiverse, weird shit going on here.
Multiverse.
Yeah, it's like a multiverse. There's some type of weird shit going on. When I was like, wait a minute.
Some characters crossed over from that particular version of the story to this one.
Something's weird going on. So I thought it was like a remake of the story, but it's tied to the story. So, which I'm interested, which is why it makes it interesting, because it's not a remake of the story. It's kind of like something's going on in this story, but it's merged with the original story, and it's all weirded out.
Yeah, but I'm glad they have the backseat drivers represented in the game. The shadows trying to force this story to be the same as the other one. Yeah, they represent the game as well, because that's what you guys are. Backseat little shadowless.
All right. So what else?
That's actually a better analogy that I was going to use. I was going to use, the plot seems to be reminiscent of Back to the Future 2, whereas he went, Biff went back in time. And he, he created an alternate 1984. So that's what I was going to say. So I'm looking forward to, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I'm also looking forward to Wolverine. What would be crazy?
That's not I'll tell you, that's not a 2024 title. I can tell you that. No. You not even close. I think at this point it's like a 2026.
Okay. I would be really it'd be really funny if Namco decided to make Tekken PlayStation exclusive again, especially with Xbox not doing so well with sales. I would like to see that. Because I always thought, at least early on, during the
what is it?
PlayStation.
It's Tekken 8? It's Tekken 8, right? That's
Yep.
the. Isn't it already announced for platforms?
I know it's announced for the PlayStation 5. I don't remember seeing anything for Xbox Series X, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Let's see. Let me look at it right now. We think you're not located in Europe. Visit what the fuck? Like, yeah, no shit, I'm not in Europe. What is going on here? Let me see if it should mention. Yeah.
VPN life. Huh?
I don't have a VPN on my thing, not on my laptop. It says it right here. PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah.
Launching January 26th.
Well, that's shot.
Damn, 2 for 2, bro. No Wolverine, no Tekken exclusive. Man, 2024 is gonna suck for you, bro. Like shit.
You know what? Sony is secretive. As long as they deliver the games,
okay.
I'm good, man. That's it for me because
all right.
I'm good. Yep.
Okay, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna just shut up, man. Whatever. He already 0-2. He's like, God damn, no Wolverine, no Tekken exclusivity. He's like, shit, this platform is garbage. I'm gonna be on PS Plus, so it sounds like Game Pass. You know what? I'm done talking. He's like, I'm done with this podcast. I'm just gonna leave this shit alone. Oh man, damn, brain. I'm sorry to have 2023 end this way for you.
No, 2023 is cool. It's just that Sony is just so tight-lipped.
Yeah, they are. They killed the alphas. They're pre-alphas. People are killing them. Oh shit! All right, AOM. What's going on? How about you? How about you? You're 2024.
You know what? First, let me give a shout out to PC Gamer and to the PC gaming industry. For a long time, I was saying that PC gamers really don't contribute nothing to gaming, right? Because all they do is buy the fancy little LED fans and then the little, graphics cards, and then they go and play CS:GO at like 20 plus more frames than they did before in 1984 settings. You know what I mean? Like they were really not doing anything for the rest of us. But you know what?
Shit.
Baldur's Gate 3 is a PC first title. Cyberpunk 2077 is a PC first title. And, there's just been a lot of PC first games that are actually mattering and pushing the medium forward again. So, you know what? I actually want to just give them a shout out. And I hope that continues in 2024. I hope that the PC developers and the PC environment create games that actually push us forward again. Because for the longest time, they have just been coasting off of the droppings from the table or the console gaming side. Like, they really don't have an identity of their own beyond that. They'll be like, oh, World of Warcraft. Like, fuck off. Like, it's like 15 years old. Just bring something new, and they finally have. And I hope that seeing that is going to encourage the industry to keep pushing forward. Like, you take a look at Cyberpunk 2077. Gorgeous game, right? Now that it has been receiving all these patches on every platform. But the PC platform truly lets it shine. They've got the path tracing, they've got this, they've got that. They've got the things to justify spending the extra money in that ecosystem. So I've been really glad of that. So I just wanted to say that. Shout out to PC gamers. You guys are finally contributing again after like 12 years of absence. So, welcome back to the fold. Because when was the last time? Before this, it was Crisis. Before Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate 3, it was Crisis when they were hot again. That's like 2006 or something. I don't know. But point is, that was yesteryear, and they're finally back in the fold. So I hope that we get like 2 or 3 more years of great PC releases that can sometimes cross over to the console world, but really they're pushing the medium forward. Okay, Xbox. I think as much as I want Xbox to continue the fight, speaking about the console, I think it's going to continue the decline. I think that Xbox is going to end up, assuming that they spend the same amount of time in this gen as they did in the last, I think they will end up selling about the same as the Xbox One generation. Except this time, I think 80% of the sales are going to come from the Series S. So I think they're just going to keep selling and at a steady rate, but it will basically flatline. There will not be any like year-over-year decline, but it won't be much of a gain either. Like, I don't think Xbox is making a comeback, and I'm actually sad about that. However, when it comes to Game Pass, I think Game Pass is going to basically show whether or not it can succeed in 2024. I think that Microsoft has artificially injected a lot of momentum. It's a bit like if Game Pass was a slow car, and then they pretty much added the Nitros boost to it. They got the Bethesda boost. That didn't really pan out, but they got the Activision boost now. So we're going to see just how far that can take them. But maybe that Activision rocket ship can basically jumpstart Game Pass to be a genuinely successful thing where they will be bragging about monthly active users and monthly subscribers on Game Pass and basically showing a lot of tremendous growth. I think that is the area that has the most potential for them. When it comes to PlayStation, I do think that we are going to get a proper showcase. And what I mean by proper showcase is an actual show that shows you the games, not just read fake and announcement trailers that really give you no idea about the games. I do think that we are going to return to some of the old ones that we lost along the way, like Pragmata. We kind of lost Pragmata. At the moment, Stellar Blade is kind of like one of those ones that is like it's up in the air. So I think that we'll have a proper showcase showing us the new titles coming from first party, especially the live service games, in a real way. But we are also going to see like release dates for Stellar Blade, Pragmata, Little Devil Inside, things like that were kind of lost by the wayside because there haven't been 100% hit rate on some of the games that they've already shown. And then finally for the industry, I think that indies are going to continue to embarrass AAA games. Now I know that not every single indie is up to that standard. But I think when you take a look at Sea of Stars, when you take a look at Hades, when you take a look at Hollow Knight, when you take a look at some of what these indie developers are able to do, No Man's Sky, Light No Fire, and then you compare them versus what these pedigreed, storied developers are actually doing. Like when you take a look at most Ubisoft games, like Avatar just came out. I don't know if it's successful, but to me, it just looks like Blue Far Cry, in a nice looking environment. And I'm like, but I played Far Cry so many times, like I'm not interested in the Ubisoft formula just with a blue tint to it. Like I'm just like, I'm not interested in that. So I think that indies, though, what do? They bring in this originality, they bring in the nostalgia, they bring in so many different ideas from so many different places that I think that they are embarrassing a lot of AAA studios, like titans of the industry. I think are embarrassed by what 12 people in the garage are able to do nowadays. And I fully expect that to continue in 2024. I think we are going to always, from now on, we're going to always end up at the end of the year with at least one indie game in your top 5. So I think that's going to be the trend going forward.
All right, hey, I'm gonna get Blaze up in here right now. I want to get his PlayStation 23 review and his prediction. Yes, Blaze, right now. When else? When? Tomorrow? When there is no podcast? Dumbass. No, I'm playing. I'm just playing. He said now? No. Tomorrow? when the podcast.
Eggnog, by the way. What is that supposed to be?
Eggnog? So eggnog's kind of like it's kind of usually a Christmas type drink.
Is there egg in it?
Yes.
No. Oh, it is?
Yes. Well, I think depending. No, it's depending on you make. It's like a batter. It's like let me see. I never made eggnog because that's not a Puerto Rican thing. We make something else called coquito, which is coconut based. But eggnog recipe. You won't believe how delicious.
Drinking raw eggs, like
no. So this is let me see how to make eggnog. Start by whisking egg yolk and sugar together in a small bowl. Then in a saucepan over medium high heat, combine cream, milk, salt, and nutmeg, and stir mixture until it reaches a simmer. Next, temper the eggs by adding. It just says add spoonful of hot mixture to egg mixture. Stir, and then you have liquor in it. But that's not really a Puerto Rican thing.
Is it good?
I don't know. I never drank eggnog.
Yes, it's very.
Are you even American if you don't drink eggnog? I feel like that's like a staple.
I don't care. I got Puerto Rican blood in me, so it's just like we don't even make like my family don't even make turkey for Thanksgiving, and that's a very traditional thing. But like,
disgusting.
Jesus Christ. That's not, that's not a thing, right? So coquito, it's more coconut based. So coquito, the way I mean, there's variations, but the most common one is 1 can of condensed milk, 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of coconut cream, and 1 can of coconut milk. A little bit of cinnamon. You put in the mixture. Once it's done mixing, you add white rum. Puerto Rico, they use a brand called Don Q, which is the traditional Puerto Rican rum. But everyone else outside the world, they usually use Bacardi.
P-Rock, that sounds so much better.
It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious.
Much better.
It is a little bit.
Start with egg yolk and add sugar, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm done.
Eggnog's nasty, bro.
Yeah, I never had it. Yeah, I never had it, so I never had eggnog. We have coquito. Hey, Blaze Sony, baby.
Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody in there. I just want to say that into the chat. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
No doubt for you, man. Merry Christmas, man. Wishing you and your family many blessings.
Yo, you good though? Yo, I see you staring like you were staring like you were looking at something, like you were pissed off, like you weren't.
No.
I'm like, yo,
like blink, motherfucker.
Yo, me and my girl will watch you. She's like, why does he look so mad? I'm like, I don't know. I'm about to ask.
No, I was just so focused and listening onto M's stuff. But I want to ask you 2 things, right? First, PlayStation 2023 review. You can talk whatever you want, like how you felt PlayStation handled 2023, and then after you're done, give me your 2024 predictions, and it doesn't necessarily have to be PlayStation, whatever you want to touch on.
Yeah, so this was probably my lowest played year on PlayStation.
Okay.
Not by choice, just what really saved it was, the VR. Like I put a lot of VR time in, but I think PlayStation had
I'm there with you, brother.
Did you finally get one?
Oops. Look at it. Look at the screen, bro. We here, bro.
Holy shit.
We doing it, bro. One? Hell yeah, bro. I got the power, bro.
Go.
I'm ready. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yo, that's what's up. That's a great Christmas for you then.
Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
But yeah, look, I think PlayStation had a great year. When you consider, people want to say, oh, they had one exclusive. Like, bro, I don't care if it's a first-party Sony game. I just care what Sony's providing me. If they have third-party deals set up, that's, first of all, y'all can't play Final Fantasy anywhere else. So I don't know why people want to, try to take that away. Like, you can't. Puerto Rock, do you care if I give you a Ferrari?
No.
You don't care, right? You still got a Ferrari now, right?
Yeah,
I don't understand that concept.
It doesn't matter where you bought it or if they gave it to you. You still got the Ferrari. Yeah.
It's yours. You got to use it. You got to play it, whatever. So I think they had a great year. And I that's the thing. People are like, oh, what Sony got coming? Sony's going to always have a calendar, like a whole physical year where they have something for the players, but they're not gonna just, bro, this ain't Xbox. You ain't gonna see a whole year go by with not even a single exclusive. That'll never happen. You know what I mean? So I think at the end of the day, Spider-Man 2, when I put that up against all these other games, you can like Baldur's Gate, you can like whatever, but to me, Spider-Man 2 was my game of the year. Liza P close second, but when you look at that, it's like I don't give a shit. Like, put up Spider-Man 2 versus whatever you want to put up, and I'm sorry, you're losing that. You're losing that in terms of gameplay, quality, cutscenes, all that, visuals, like whatever you want to do. Like, you're losing that. So I just think I'd rather have a couple, 2 to 3 great experiences than 5 to 6, just forgettable, you know what I mean? Not memorable games, honestly. I'm not saying that everything got to be a banger, but for the most part, I'd rather have my little nice basket of quality games and enjoy those and when you look back at the PS5 generation, you're gonna look back like, holy shit, remember Spider-Man 2, Venom, and blah blah, and there's so much more to come. But I'm just talking about this year, and I thought this year was good. It's unfortunate that we're spoiled as PlayStation fans. That's what I was saying on my show the other day. Like, we are so spoiled as PlayStation fans because we've gotten so much, not only so much but quality. And I just think, these games are taking a long time. There's so much that I'm not going to go into, but there's so much that affected, the amount of releases coming out. But I think we've been spoiled as PlayStation fans. Seriously.
Yeah.
We really have been.
Yeah. We're so big on the high life that even good is not good enough.
That's crazy. That's crazy, though.
Like, bare minimum is great. That's like the bare minimum. Anything less than great, people now, this brand is dead.
And someone said, "Oh, don't sugarcoat it. We want bang." Listen, at the end of the day, you buy a console, absolutely, for the big bangers. You buy it for the big budget games. I don't want to hear, trust me, I'm not saying that. Believe me, people buy a console to get great experiences. They're not buying a console to play something that they could have played that on a PS4 or a PS3. They're buying it to see the hardware being pushed. At the end of the day, like that's the most exciting part, is seeing these engines. You know what I mean? Oh, we don't need a PS5 Pro. Says who? I want it.
Well, I know you getting it. I might consider it. Depending on how, depending on the what it does, I might be like, okay. You
know what they say, P-Rock? They say, oh, last generation it was more viable because 4K TVs were starting to spread like wildfire, and they could push the whole, resolution bump. What are they gonna do now? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
we can still have native 4K. We can still have a native image instead of an upscaled image. We can still have better frame rate, more frame rate options. We can still have better performing VR games.
Yes.
There's many reasons why you want a PS5 Pro, and Grand Theft Auto is right around the corner too.
Yeah. Imagine if Pro is the only way to play the game at 60 FPS on consoles.
And listen, I would be
Yeet.
Bro, look what
that would make me do it. That would make me do it, bro. That would definitely.
Look what they did with the PS4. What a base PS4 Horizon Zero Dawn ran on a base PS4. God of War ran on a base PS4.
Yes.
And it's still, take that PS4 port, just the PS4 port, and put it up against anything. Even a bunch of put it up against whoever you want. Even that PS4 port. It still looks better than 90% of games out there. I'm sorry.
Facts. All right.
It is what it is, bro.
Okay.
What was your second question, though?
The second one is your prediction for 2024. However you want, whatever direction you want to go with it.
Listen, my prediction is all these Xbox guys that are predicting, wait till all these games start coming out and it's going to be a snowball effect. It's like, bro, nothing will ever, like, these guys don't fucking get it. They're talking about selling consoles in Japan and it's getting closer. Like I said on Gaz's podcast, you can bundle the Series X with chopsticks and crab ragoons. No one's buying that shit.
Yeah, I still gotta catch up to that. On live where you want it.
Are these guys out of their mind? Like, you can bundle crab ragoons with a Series X. They're not buying it. They don't give a fuck about Xbox out there. It is what it is. It's not hate. It's the facts. We've seen 3 decades of this shit. It don't work over there. They don't give a fuck about
He said.
But I continue. Listen. We're gonna see a dominant year. I know people. Jim Ryan's leaving. Factions is canceled. They're putting out remakes. Wouldn't you love a remake of one of your most favorite games, your most beloved game of all time? Wouldn't you love that? Like, you know what I mean?
Thank you, boys.
Only people that complain about that shit is because they don't give a fuck about the product. But if you love The Last of Us, like you say, you should have zero issue with an updated version of Last of Us.
Thank you. How come I've not been on your show yet? Like we agree. We agree on that.
I'm with you. I heard you say something bad about SOCOM, but I said, I love M. I think he's such an intelligent man. I'm just gonna leave
he's gonna let you live. He's gonna let you live on that one. He says you get a pass. You get a pass.
I got mad respect for you. I can't. I'm not gonna. I'm just not gonna.
Hey, listen. You know what? Here's the thing, Blaze. If they come up with a SOCOM remake or reboot or whatever, I will give it its fair shot. I will.
I will. That's fair. That's all you can ask. That's it.
Yeah. I don't think they should, but if they do, I will give it a fair shot.
Okay.
I respect that. But yeah, look, I see I don't see it, Puerto. I don't see anything changing. Honestly, I see the continue a dominance run by PlayStation again. Whether it's console series 3-1, if it really don't matter at this point. PlayStation is they just got the juice right now, and I don't think these guys thinking putting out a console is gonna help them. It's gonna propel them.
When the 2026. I'm like, man, they need to stop. They need to stop that bullshit. I'm like, man, that's the last thing Microsoft wants to start doing. Like, release another console that don't sell. Yeah, I remember. Nobody was really buying it. Everybody has. They rechanging history. Like, people don't realize the first year of Xbox 360, PS2 was thumping it the fuck out. Ain't nobody was buying that shit. It wasn't until.
The great point, Rock.
Yeah.
Is the Dreamcast. Remember the Dreamcast came out? It was lit. But guess what was looming over the horizon?
The PS2.
A big PS2. So motherfuckers knew, like, damn, this Dreamcast is cool. but it's 400. You know, and the PS2 came out at a great price, and people just knew the PS2 was on its way, and they couldn't really settle in with this. You know, it is what it is, bro. Like, y'all fuck around if you want.
Yo, but I don't see Microsoft launching a new console, but yet they still have to support the Series S and X for like a good another 2 years. Because not that you're not going to convert the audience that fast over to the new one. Hell, you might piss off some people.
No thing.
Like, I just bought this shit and you make a new one?
Right. And then they're going to be like, oh, you got to support the Series S still. And it's going to be a continuous bullshit. Like, so I bought this new next-gen console, but y'all still supporting the Series S, so I can't get the best experience on the new. That shit is fucking cool.
Yeah, people are going to try to hear that shit. All right. Okay. So that's your 2024?
Brother, nothing's gonna change. Trust me.
Okay, all right. Now, for me, my 2024 prediction, I'll be honest. I'm not sure Sony's gonna have a showcase. I think they're gonna do a whole bunch of state of plays, but I don't know if the first party is still at that point to where they would have a showcase and show it. I don't know. I think they'll have state of plays though to show you maybe 1 or 2 games, a big project. Third-party stuff, their third-party deals. I think they'll go in that direction. So that's just one. I don't know if they'll have an actual showcase. And only because, well, it's hard, right? Because I'm talking from a lens of Twitter, but their last showcase, the Twitter community, everybody dogged it. YouTube pretty much dogged it. So a lot of people kind of dogged the last PlayStation showcase. But yeah, if you go to TikTok, they fucking love that shit. So I don't know how Sony sees the type of showcase they do. I don't know who they're going to listen to. If they listen to the YouTube Twitter community, then they're not going to do one. Unless they have something banger and ready to go. But if they listen to the TikTok community, they're going to do one. And we're going to, the Twitter, YouTube side is going to thrash it. But if TikTok is like the main, social media platform that Sony responds to more than anybody else, then they're gonna listen to them. Because it's a night and day. It's a night and day fucking community. Like, if you are tired of toxicity behind PlayStation and people talking shit, just leave Twitter and YouTube and go to TikTok. You're gonna get it's crazy, bro. And go ahead and be the one to even bring up some bullshit over there. They will fuck you up, bro. Don't even try to bring that, anti-PlayStation bullshit on that side of the house. I don't know, it's weird. Even I'm uncomfortable because I'm like, you guys are too positive. This shit's just weird. Like, you can't say nothing bad in that place. It's weird. Yeah, it's like toxic positivity over there. It is strange on TikTok. The PlayStation love is through the roof. And it's just weird. So you guys check it out. Now, for me, that's one. So, and two, I think this year at some point we're gonna see Microsoft is gonna talk more, reveal more in some way, somehow. They're gonna unveil more of their strategy to bring games to PlayStation, Nintendo. And then number 3, I think Nintendo's gonna unveil the Switch 2 this year, 2024. I think this is the year.
Perfect Dark is missing in action. They came out and said, hey, we're developing, we're coming out, this is our studio. I think it was 2018 or 2019.
Yeah, we don't hear nothing.
2018, 2019, that's when they had their studio formed, right? Yes. And then they came out and I don't know when bro, Perfect Dark has been missing for 3 years or 4 years. We haven't seen a single thing.
No update. I'm telling you. Yeah.
That shit is bad, bro. But you don't hear that doom and gloom for come on.
But that's my prediction. A Switch 2 reveal. Switch 2 reveal. Microsoft's plan to show how they're gonna nest their games deeper into the PlayStation Nintendo ecosystem. And then number 3, I'm not so sure about a showcase. I think that we're gonna get a lot more state of plays, but not
Porter,
so much a showcase.
It's gonna sound ass backwards to you a little bit, but hear me. Yeah. Me and you are not platinum guys. We'll get a platinum if we love the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know about you, we like the game. We'll get a platinum.
I've got 20.
So you casually get but
So it has to be a game we really want to do it. Yeah, that's how it. Yeah.
I really have to. And it can be tedious. Like I did it for Sea of Stars.
Like Forbidden.
How much I hate doing it.
Like Forspoken, I couldn't do it. I'm like, yo.
Oh yeah, no way.
No way.
Not even close.
And I enjoyed the game, but nope.
And it's
my whole thing with Nintendo. Nintendo can. I really do think they need a Switch 2 badly. But if you ask their community, they say, "Oh, we're good. Look at our sales," and they're right.
Lies.
Fine. But I'm telling you right now, Nintendo needs some achievements badly, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you play the game and it's like, it's weird. Like, you ever look back?
They're missing something.
Like, no, but you ever look back at your trophy like, damn, at 4:30 in the morning, I got the platinum for this. What the fuck was I doing 4:30 in the morning on September 8th? Like, what the fuck? Like, I always reminisce. It's like you know what I mean? It's like they need that.
It's like a step in time.
Blaze, I'm sorry, but you're so wrong. You are so wrong.
Tell me,
really?
Listen, tell me.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. You know the iPhone 15 now has USB-C. We have had USB-C for ages. Didn't you ever think to yourself like, hey, you know what? It will make sense if the iPhone had USB-C because it's just so convenient. And yet people on the iPhone side, before the 15, they never thought about it. They literally didn't know what they were missing. So they never thought about it. They always just thought that, oh yes, it makes sense for you to go to your friend's house. And if they have an iPhone, you can charge your phone. But if they don't, you're shit out of luck. It never made sense to anyone anyway. If you're on Android, your original USB-C was a thing. In fact, even on Apple, they had USB-C for the tablets, but not for the iPhones. So it never made sense that the MacBook, the tablet, can be charged with one connector, and yet the iPhone needs a separate connector. And yet people just accepted it. And I feel like people that play on Switch, the majority of which are children, because Nintendo makes games for children, listen, what do you want them to do? They don't know better. So I don't think they're missing that at all. And I don't see Nintendo giving you that ever. Really.
No, it's not that. I'm not saying they're missing it or not. I listen, I will continue accepting these weird links by these motherfuckers in my Discord telling me to click this if you want to play the new Zelda, and that's what I'll do because I'm not gonna sit there and listen. I'm already fucking handicapped at 720p sub, 30 FPS sub. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, give me a reason to play on your platform.
Listen, you and I agree, man. I believe that the Switch 2. I think that I want a console counterpart. I want like a Switch 2 Pro where I can just buy the console version, no handheld capability. Just a box that sits there, gives me my higher frames, or maybe like a GPU booster, like the external dock has an extra hardware in there, so that when I slot in a Switch, it gives me like proper frames.
And I always said that. Why can't they create the dock?
Exactly. Why can't they give it a dock? Exactly. Give you the power.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I'm with you. I want all of these things. I want the modern conveniences. The fact that you can't even share like usernames in an easy way, you have to just like send a social security number, to like do links and everything. But the point is this, like, I just don't see that, like, all of these companies, they only listen to the core audience. At the end of the day, we are tourists to the Switch world, right? We are tourists on Nintendo. We're not the main people. It will be like having a city, just design traffic so that tourists from the airport can have the best times, and it just messes up all of the roads for the actual locals living there, which some cities have done and nobody ever likes it, right?
You own a Switch, Ev?
No, I would never. Like my little brother does, so I've played on the Switch. I played Breath of the Wild, and as soon as I was done with my 150 hours, I was like, never again will I touch this.
He said, device. Never again.
That felt like a prison cell, but that was really, really fun. Like, you lost your freedom, but you had a good time in
you
there.
feel lonely on the Switch, bro. It's a ghost.
Bro, exactly,
oh man,
exactly.
Damn.
The Switch is not for a social gamer. So listen, I will never go back there again. It's a bit like America, actually. I would never visit the US.
Oh, damn.
Life without ever going back there. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. You guys
you stay over there with them, poisonous spiders and scorpions.
Yeah. Better than just, cop shooters that are going to kill me for running away from them.
You're right.
So I take my spiders.
At least you can fight back on the spiders, right?
No, at least the spiders aren't racist about it. They'll just kill me because they happen to be there.
Oh, damn.
I mean, he ain't lying, bro.
Oh shit! All right, hey, it's good. All right, I'm glad. Hey, Blaze, I'm glad you came through and gave your little prediction. Pretty much, Blaze said.
Before you wrap up the show,
he said Xbox.
On Twitter,
okay, go on Twitter.
In the 60 FNL.
Oh no, we're not doing that here. This is a child-friendly show.
No, I have to know how this happened.
Okay, so fucking PlayStation dudes are horny. So I'll put it on.
No. How do you do it on the PS5?
What?
Think about it. There's no browser on the PS5.
No, there is. It's like a secret browser.
No. I know you can do that, but how would so many people do it that it would
listen.
of the traffic?
Listen. These dudes want to fap to Overwatch cartoons, so they will find a way. Right?
PlayStation, everybody has a phone.
No, but I listen. I don't know. I don't have the answer. You act like I do it. I don't know. I'm just telling you the result. I don't know. I cannot tell you the why behind this.
Like sending themselves like a link, then you open it in messages.
I don't know.
Then you pop it up in the thing. Then you browse with a fucking controller just to be able to get your Pornhub.
Because the PS4 doubled what the PS5 did for porn. Like when they had the official, but like people were watching porn on that PS4, bro. With that.
No, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
How does this happen? Because they got devices. You have tablets. You have computers. You have this. You have that.
I'll tell you. You want the?
They're not 50-inch screens. They want.
Not only that, you got the most attractive console in front of you. And then you put on some porn.
They're horny. I know.
Some vibes.
They're having a threesome. You know, I don't know what to tell you. This is for whatever reason. PlayStation's the king of Pornhub by a lot. It's not even a competition.
That is crazy though.
I don't know why. I don't know how it started.
Listen, where is the Switch represented here?
It's in the other probably.
If no
1.6%.
3DS and PS Vita. Where's the Switch? Because if I thought about it, I would be like, hey, the Switch kind of makes more sense to me.
I don't know, man. I don't know. They're too busy.
Maybe they need a first per second for that.
I don't know. They're too busy going. They're too busy going after kids at the Super Smash Brothers Brawl competitions. I don't know.
Where is this?
This is the insights, so you can go to the insights on the official site and you can get it.
I don't know.
Yeah. You've been on the site today then?
No, I didn't go on the site.
He got caught. My man is down under. Oh, he down bad. You're a sleuth. That's what they are called now. Man, back in my days, that was called sexual deviancy, but I guess it's called sleuth. I don't know. Yo, listen, I've been seeing this for years, and that's one thing. PlayStation has been king of this, and I don't understand why. Like, how could this be? I don't know. Like in the world with phones, tablets, and PC, I don't know how game consoles, because it's a lot of work. I would think.
Yes.
I don't know. Listen, I don't have the answers. I can't. You're not gonna get the answers here. Maybe, I don't know. We gotta go to What's Up PlayStation and get Jay Barry. Let's see if they have the answers. I don't have the answers. This is this is an ass whooping, bro. This is an ass whooping when it comes to this. PlayStation, some horny ass dudes, bro.
You know Xbox is gonna try to weaponize that, right?
Yeah, bro.
Games over here. We ain't playing.
We play games. We don't play with our dicks.
Talking about how PlayStation Plus becomes more relevant in all devices.
Hold on, go to that stat again. Did that say other PS Vita? Hell no, you ain't watching porn on the Vita, dog.
They're on that. Hold on. They're on that Vita, dog.
Blaze. PS Vita had an OLED screen. Okay, that's actually.
No, they're on the Vita. Look at they're on that Vita. They're on the Vita and the 3DS, but it's only 1.6.
That's crazy.
Who does it on the 3DS though?
On the 3DS, bro. That's almost like on the 3DS. You kind of sick in the head. That's almost. You need to be on a watch list. You should be registered. If you're using your 3DS for that.
People use the console though, Puerto Rock, because it's not a computer. You can't. You're not gonna worry about viruses and this and that. It's just. They shut it off. They don't gonna worry about their history.
Oh, the history, no browser history.
Yeah. They don't want to use private, in private mode. They're just like, nah.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
But if let's say you don't have your how you can hide yourself from being online. What if you forget to change that and it says Blaze Pornhub? I'm gonna send you a message. I'm like, bro, put that shit down. You might go blind.
Yo, if it said what you were doing, Blaze is on the web, Pornhub. Oh, shit.
Oh, man. I will screenshot that shit. That's just getting screenshotted. That's just getting screenshotted.
That would be horrible, bro. Holy. And it said, searched fucking cream pie. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Oh shit. It says you're looking through Overwatch porn. I'm like, yo, this shit's getting screenshotted, boy. We putting that shit on Twitter. Boy. I'ma send that shit to Solid Red. Solid Red's gonna be like, disgusting. You know how he is? He's just gonna be like,
this dude nailed his voice. What the hell?
Disgusting. Like, he's like, why don't you just go to the gym, bro? Take that pent up aggression and take it out on some weights.
Hey, Rev told me he was addicted to porn at one point. He said,
was he?
Yeah,
oh shit. He could be addicted to porn. You could, man. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it's happening.
Okay, you know what's funny? Hey, Pure, I'm gonna send you part 2.
Oh shit! Listen.
There's that. Just go ahead, give it to the people.
Let me see. Depending, I have to first verify. Okay, let's see what you're putting.
It's nothing bad. It's nothing.
What is this? Change in console traffic share.
I'm safe from work.
Oh shit! So this is the same one. So this is the change in metrics. All right, hold on.
And even here, there is a decline for a particular brand.
Oh my god! So the change in console traffic from 2022 2023 on Pornhub, Xbox went down negative 34.5%. PlayStation 4 went down 16%. So all the horny people are going to PlayStation 5. 77% increase.
You know how we use Steam sales?
Man, we need some games, bro. This is what happens when we ain't got no games.
Hey, yo.
Spider-Man and Final Fantasy is not enough, dog.
We need to use Pornhub as well. They are clearly a great resource. We can see the people migrating.
Man, no wonder it sold 50 million. 25 million is just for Pornhub. Damn. Like, oh shit, who would have thought? Shout out to Sphere. I forgot to read your last super chat. He says, I enjoyed 2023. I play games and platted a few. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it's all about. Now, did you go on Pornhub though? Because one of us is lying in this podcast because you can't get up 33% and everybody says, oh, not me. Somebody lying here. We gotta somebody in the community is lying. We gotta find out who's on that Pornhub.
Anonymous poll, okay?
Yeah, we gotta. Did
you use it for this purpose?
I'm gonna put that.
Somebody said in the chat, Puerto Rock, they're not selling. Xbox ain't selling consoles. It's facts. That's why their numbers ain't up like that.
Oh shit! There's no console to jerk off to. Good point.
That's right.
Good point. Oh shit! That's not enough.
That Series S will start stuttering and shit, freezing and shit. That can't handle no fucking one. Come on, man.
It's showing you porn in 480p. Like, it's just too blurry. Like, what am I looking at?
I think sexual deviants like yourself watching the 3D version on your PlayStation VRs.
The Series S can't handle it. Shit. Oh man, I can't do that. Imagine that. I can't even. Yeah, you just be like this, on your VR. You just be like.
Puerto Rock, I'm gonna gift you. The PlayStation still doesn't have a gifting option, right?
No, they don't, man.
That's an L for PlayStation. They really
yes,
on that. Anyway,
L. And it doesn't make sense that they are dragging their ass on that. Like how? That's like literally more money. Like people buying games for other people, that's still a sell. It's a sell's a sell, no matter who buys it. Like them
they're
dudes.
Missing gifting. And the biggest one for me, listen, I know I'll probably get roasted in the chat, but I was big on this. And it was an incentive for me to pre-order games on PlayStation. Is themes. Where the fuck are my custom themes for these games,
Billy,
bro?
trust me, they do this every fucking time, bro. You have to wait like 3 years for them to do background themes again.
God,
like,
damn,
bro,
PS4 themes hitting, bro.
You ain't lying. You ain't not lying. Background, like, graphic backgrounds and themes, they, for whatever reason, you have to start all over. Like, can't you just like merge it over, like start from fresh? That doesn't make sense.
What's, like I said, it's an incentive. Oh, you pre-order Resident Evil 4 and you get a
and folders.
With it. That's dope.
And folders. We always have to fight. And we always have to fight folders. Like every fucking gen is gonna be a battle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they come 4 years later, oh, we got you folders, bitch. Like, just do that shit from the start. We want it. Stop changing the shit. You know.
Actually, that's a good question. For the next generation, do you want them to keep the same PS5 UI?
Man, just keep the same shit, man. Why give us new shit and frustrate us? They give us a new OS, but it doesn't do folders. Fuck it, you ain't got themes. You ain't got motion movement background. You take all this shit for what? Man, just leave the shit alone. Leave the shit alone.
But I will say this about that, Puerto Rock. You gotta be real. When I bought my Series X and plugged it in, and I realized it was the same as my Xbox One X,
it was bad.
It didn't feel fucking new. If I'm like, oh man, like,
really?
You know what I mean? But I get it. You're right. You're right. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
It should matter about the
But I will say this: if you're gonna give us something new, it can't be missing the stuff that you already had. Right. And people have to ask for it, and then you give it to us years later, like the transition. Like fuck.
Get away with that. If iPhone released a new iPhone without the fucking 4K camera app,
remove shit, and they say, "Oh, we'll give you back to you later." We'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Guys, they remove shit all the time. We still don't have headphone jacks again. They'll come back. I'm telling you.
What the headphone jack? Oh, that ain't coming back.
The headphone jacks.
You think so?
They'll come back.
The 3.5 millimeter shit.
Maybe not the 3.5 millimeter shit, but maybe they will just have like a secondary port that you can use. You know, for
man, they try and sell them Beats. They try to sell them AirPods. They want them AirPod sales.
All the other companies laughed at Apple, like Samsung,
and then everybody started doing it.
They copied them. It's like, what the fuck?
This is fucking hilarious, man. That's why you got to be afraid when Apple does some shit, because you know everybody's gonna do the same shit.
Yep.
You see what these bots are saying? That in 5 to 6 years, if Xbox hits a home run and all that blah blah, that Apple is gonna buy PlayStation. That's what they're saying.
Oh man, I don't listen to you know, I have no idea why.
They will have to buy Sony entirely.
Yeah, like you can't buy PlayStation. You have to buy Sony.
Well, and Apple, they make it their own. They were saying they made it their own, like PlayStation and
no. So it's no.
Sony is wrapped around PlayStation. Like they can't give you PlayStation. They could give you cameras before they give you PlayStation. They will be like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
we can sell this one off.
Yeah. So yeah.
When they had the big restructure, they basically like got rid of Vio PCs and got rid of a whole bunch of other stuff. And then they were like, yeah, PlayStation, that's secret. We're not
to explain what they're talking about, because I think King Thrash brought it up, but he kind of explained it wrong. So what happened, and I'll tell you exactly who did it. It was Kaz Hirai. So Kaz Hirai, when he took over Sony as the CEO, that's when everything was just a disaster for Sony, period. It wasn't just PlayStation 3. It was their TVs, everything. Everything was just a mess, right? And I remember reading an interview, he talked about that while he was at PlayStation, he never realized certain things that Sony was doing which didn't make sense. Like, for example, when he took over, Sony had actually 2 separate TV divisions that actually made separate lines of TVs with separate technologies, and they were competing with each other. And he's thinking, why would you compete with each other in the same company? He was like, it just didn't make sense. They literally had 2 separate lines of TVs, and they did their own thing. And one was trying to outsell the other. And he's like, no matter who wins, Sony loses. And he's like, this was just crazy, right? He also saw PlayStation money was generating more revenue, and they would actually the company would actually take revenue from PlayStation and use it to subsidize other projects. It wouldn't be fed back into PlayStation. So what he did was, I want to say LLC, but the first thing he did was he made sure the revenue PlayStation earned cannot be taken by the rest of the company. It has to go back to PlayStation. So that's what he did. So he didn't make PlayStation his own company. He just protected PlayStation's self-interest. So any money they made, no one else can use it for nothing. Like the company couldn't say, well, you know what, since PlayStation made a whole lot of money, we're going to take some of that to help fund Bravia TV projects. Like, nope. He stopped that. So Sony's money that they earn, that goes right back to them. It will go nowhere else. Now, I don't know if they changed that since then, but that's the first thing he did. He's like, we're going to stop taking money away from PlayStation. They're protected. Their money stays with them. It's going nowhere. You cannot use it to offset any other division in the company. So that's why he did. So he protected PlayStation's interest, and kept the money internally. So now the board members or the shareholders, and the shareholders agreed, no one can say, hey, let's take PlayStation money and fund a new project in our, sound division or camera division. Nope. It's not coming from them.
PlayStation was literally keeping
at
one point.
Trying, yeah.
Bro, they had all these vials and all this shit, like the laptop. Like they had some good ideas and they had some flops too. But Sony. Listen, that Sony's name, not only the PlayStation logo, but the Sony logo itself on the Walkman. It's very nostalgic. People that's what I'm trying to say. You can't push Sony out the door, bro. They're too nostalgic. They're too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're lit. That's what it is. You can't. It's too late to hate.
He's like, it's over. All right, the fight's over. All right.
I know. When your big boss comes out and says, "Look, we can't compete. We lost the console war." I would never listen, Puerto Rico. If you would beat my ass the day before and you even recorded it, I would come on Twitter and be like, "I beat the fucking shit out of Puerto Rico."
You would just not be on camera. Like, hey, yo, Blaze, put the camera on. Like, nah, my shit's broken. We good. My shit's broken.
Along with my nose and my fucking eyes.
But I'm gonna let y'all know I beat his ass. Don't believe him. He's lying. It's fake news.
What type of message does that send?
I don't know, man.
People underneath you and your fans, develop. What type of message does that send when you tell them that you can't compete? You're not capable of making your shit better than the next. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a horrible statement to do, bro. That's not what a leader does. A leader doesn't say, hey, we can't compete. We can never touch them. Like, what? That's not striving for greatness. That's what I'm trying to say. This is why these dudes accept mediocrity. They accept fucking bullshit 65s and 75s on Game Pass, bro. That's what they're... don't get me fucking started. Oh no, it's Alex. You can put me on your video. Go ahead, and I'll make another one about you.
All right. Oh shit. All right. All right, man. Let's close this chapter up. We'll start with Blaze. Man, you doing a solid cast this Saturday? I know everything's crazy with the holidays and all that stuff.
No, I'm done being inconsistent. Puerto Rico. If you look at my channel, let me throw some flowers on myself, right?
Right, go ahead.
You look at my channel and you look at my upload rate. I don't even upload a lot. I really don't.
All right.
But you can bet your ass when I do, I get my views.
More
than dudes with
facts
3 times the subscriber count. So I'm just
which is weird, right? It's fucking weird. I don't understand YouTube. Like, I look at some accounts and they have like 20K subscribers, right? And I'm thinking, man, I never heard of this person. I mean, check out the YouTube channel. And their content gets like 400 views, and I'm thinking, damn, like, I don't understand. Like,
listen,
how you got I don't get it. How you got 20,000 subscribers and 400 views? Like, I'm afraid, like, I pray to God that shit don't happen to me.
The bigger
whatever's happening.
The bigger you get, like, people always show, oh, I got 20,000 subs. Okay, but go live and let me see what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because fuck your subscriber count, bro. Y'all get fooled by that shit. The subscriber count don't. You see Puerto Rock? He's punching above his weight, bro. He gets way more live viewers and way more views than 80% of channels out there with 3 times the subscriber count as him. That's what y'all gotta pay attention to. Fuck the subscriber count.
But I got a lit chat though. My viewers are lit though. They lit. They the littiest.
That's why.
They did. You know what I'm saying? I got the truest.
That's all I want to say. I really be more consistent because I got all these members. I got a big Discord community, and I just feel like they always hound me, like, "Oh, you're gonna make." So I'm gonna really, really put my head down and try to be consistent.
And you and Rev hit it off.
Yeah. Facts.
That's
we gotta get. And Puerto Rico, don't ever DM me on Twitter, bro. I don't check Twitter unless. If you would have just sent this, like you sent a super chat, you could have been like, "Yo, send a link."
Yeah, but you still understood my reasoning, though, right? I didn't want to put you on the spot because sometimes you have your locked, you have your locked,
It's never like that, bro. You're like
I'm just saying.
Brother,
all right,
you always show me love, bro.
But that was a good combo. That's why I wanted to jump in. I'm like, oh, this combo was outstanding because you hit the.
I think y'all could have some great combos, bro. I think you guys are more alike than y'all know it, but
we're old and we're fucking grumpy.
Yep.
It'd just be 2 grumpy old ass men. Talking shit. All right, man. Okay, man. Thanks, man. All right. So you're saying you're doing one this Saturday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, definitely. So check them out. What time East Coast? Because I'm in the West Coast.
I've been doing 9 o'clock, bro. You gotta understand, I got 3 kids, and by the time
I believe me, I know.
You understand? If bedtime's 9 o'clock, they're up till 9:30, fucking around.
Shit.
So, like, it pisses me off. So I gotta I don't like doing shit when I have background and kids. I need to be
focused. You have that nice setup. That shit's all perfectly set up, bro. All right, but we'll see, man. So hey, around 9:00 Eastern time, we'll see. You know, Blaze Sony baby. We'll see him this Saturday, right? To kick off the last solid cast of the year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, this is the last Saturday. This is it. It's what is it? It's the 30th. Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be the last one of the year, and then we kick off. Yo, it's 20. Didn't 2023 go by fast? Crazy. It shit went by fast,
crazy,
bro. All right.
Scary,
so yeah. So
Yo.
All right, what's going on, my brother? What you doing, man? Hey, what you doing? Are you gonna blow up your channel even more? You got aspirations?
I've got the drive to bring out more talk, more conversation, more calling out people that need to be called out and everything. So that's gonna happen. But I just want to say thank you to the chat. You guys welcome me on this platform. I think this was the first year that I've been here, and you guys have made this a really great place to be. Portwork obviously is the host and everything, but the truth is, if the chat doesn't like you, you're not coming back. At the end of the day, we're here to serve the audience. So I just wanted to say thank you. You guys have been.
No, they don't like you. They'll tell me DMs to kick you out, but I don't listen.
Yeah, all the time, as they should.
All the time, I ignore them. I'll be like, listen, feel the pain. Now I'm just playing.
You do that if your community, because I had people like, yo, that guy's fucking annoying. And I don't. No, I don't. So I will tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because then at what point that's a dangerous road to go on. Unless the dude did something disrespectful, right?
Racism, some weird shit. But if people don't like a person simply because of the opinion, now to me you're heading down a dark road of creating that echo chamber. And sometimes you just gotta, sometimes a person, as long as it's not disrespectful, some weird shit, but if a person says a view people don't agree with, sometimes the view's gotta be said. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. And then people just listen. If you disagree, but we can't go down that road of, shut this guy down, or he better not come back, or I'm gonna unsubscribe. I don't do that, because if I started with that one, then I gotta do it for everybody. And that's just a dark road. More often than not, more people are willing to listen, and if they don't like the view, they'll just say their counter view and move on to the next one, and then that's about it. But that's a dark road to travel. Once you start getting a few people saying don't ever bring them back, like nah, unless it's valid, and that it's disrespect, vulgar language, things like that, racism, like whoa, even I'll boot them out right there on the spot. You know what I'm saying? But if they just have a bad gaming take, then that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad gaming take.
You can't appease your child all the time.
No, you can't. You can't. It just can't. It's impossible. It is. You will never keep up. You know what I'm saying? And then you do it, and then other people say, "Hey, what happened to this guy? Why is he not back?" And you're like, "Fuck, man!" Like, yo, like it'll be a. He ain't coming back, dog. After I told him his ass was gonna get Ragnaroked. My man is not gonna come back. He done, boy. He's gonna come back when he thinks I forget Baron. I'm never gonna forget. You could show back up in 2029. I'm bringing this up. You're done. I told him he's gonna have this seat right here. He was gonna get God of War Ragnarok. Zelda was not gonna win. I told him that. Zelda's not gonna win. This is gonna be God of War Ragnarok, and he could sit right here next to me and be miserable. He could feel the pain I felt when Ragnarok lost. All right, and I told him he was gonna feel it, and he hasn't showed up since. He's not trying to have that combo. He knows that I'm waiting, and I will wait. I am a patient man. I am a sniper. I will shit and piss on myself, but I'm gonna hit my target. Walk out that door, you're dead. I don't care if I don't eat. Shit, piss, I'm just gonna stay right there, not sleep. That's it, boy. But when I see that target, clip, you're done. So Baron, you might as well just get it out the way. Show up on the next podcast, just get the pain away, because it's not going away. I will not forget. It could be 2029. You're gonna get this work. So you might as well get it out the way, bro.
Get this work.
You're gonna get this work, Barrett. I told you Ragnarok was coming. You didn't want to listen. Anyway, hey, so want to close out the show with to the chat and to all the viewers, to those who rock out with us live. you know, I want to say thank you so much, right? Because you guys, you could be doing anything in the world, right? You could be playing games, you could be watching another podcast, you could be on Pornhub on your PlayStation, which some of you probably are, you know. But I truly appreciate that you guys are here rocking out. I'm glad that we're able to provide entertainment, you know, to people like Blaze, Jay Bari, Persona. Shout out to Gaz, all the people throughout throughout 2023 that was able to take the time to come to the show. I truly appreciate you guys for rocking. J-Dub, J-Dub most definitely. Ramon shows up from time to time and stuff. You know, pretty much, you know, and I forget, and I apologize if I forget any names, but you guys know who you are. Even Lack Laren, you know what I'm saying? The Baron up in here, he's like 0-95 in almost everything. You know, everybody who rocked out with us in 2023, you know, I truly appreciate you guys for rocking on the channel, watching it. For those of you who don't get to watch the show live and you watch it, you know, recorded, I really appreciate that too. You understand? And for all the guys that hit the like button, truly appreciate it. To the members, I truly appreciate it, right? I wasn't going to have a membership program, but you guys told me, said, hey, we just need something to support the channel because sometimes we don't show up live and do a super chat or something. This is a way where, you know, you guys are able to support it, so I truly appreciate it. I added more stuff to the membership perks, like, you know, so if you guys are members, you should see more smileys and weird shit that I put up that you can use in the chat and stuff like that, right? 2024 come through. I'll give you guys a little taste. I'm gonna make a separate video to be more details, but I'm gonna try to bring something this channel lost a while ago, right? If you were here in the beginning, right, on 60 frames no lag, the original intention was to have the conversations other channels weren't willing to do. And what that meant was Xbox guys, PlayStation guys, Nintendo guys, PC guys, come in here and let's have the conversation. The things are news. Say your perspective, say your point, you know, as long as it wasn't disrespectful, racial, whatever, but say your point, make your case, everybody. And what that did was, it was in an echo chamber. Everybody got to say their stuff, got to say their views, a little bit debate, and that's how it was, man. And if you saw, like, if you don't believe me, go through the first 2-3 years of this channel. I have ran out Thor on this channel. I even had Xbox guys that if you look, you're like, how the hell you had that guy on there? I'm telling you, I had everybody on this channel. It did not matter. You know what I'm saying? But we talked about it. Everybody stated their case, and it was a good time. I'm going to try to bring that back in 2024, right? So I'm going to get more guests, more guys on the Nintendo side, more guys on the Xbox sides, and we're going to have this conversation together on all the topics and stuff like that, because I think the channel lost sight of that. I think just the community became siloed into their own groups. I'm gonna try to break that trend, right? And there's gonna be people that say no because they want to stay in their silo. That's cool, but I'm gonna try to bring that back. You know, get the other opinions out there from Nintendo gamers, PC gamers. We lost that.
Bro,
so I'm going to.
I couldn't run a show with just all PlayStation. We talk about the same shit. Like you need a dark to say something stupid. You know what I mean? Or
yeah.
You know what I mean? You need something.
But you'd be surprised how hard it is to get it right. It's a little bit challenging, but I'm gonna put more effort. You know, and if that means new faces, then so be it. The new generation of Xbox dudes, then I'm gonna get them for one way or another, right? And we're gonna see how we're gonna do it and stuff like that. But that's gonna be more. I'm gonna bring that old formula back onto the channel and stuff like that. So that way we get to it. Yes, oh shit, you know, I'm be like, hey, listen, I got my gas mask and my flak jacket. Let's get it on and stuff like that, all right? But anyway, this is your only friend in YouTube Streets, Porter77. If I don't get to talk to anybody, to the panel, to the chat, I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope you guys are safe. Enjoy your time with your family. Do not drink and drive. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Get your, Uber app and shit, whatever, and whatever app you have around the world. Just don't drink and drive. You don't need to do it. Just don't do it, and you'll be fine. All right, fellas. Thank you so much for coming through to the chat. Love you guys. See you next year on the next 60 Frames No Lag podcast. This is your only friend, is YouTube Streets, Porter77, and we are out of here. Peace.